From NBA players having secret relationships with refs, to eating some of the weirdest food, secretly living like normal people, and even getting in high-speed chases with the police. 100 things you didn't know about NBA players start with LeBron. LeBron James isn't who you think he is. Addictions, million-dollar scandals, almost dying in a plane crash. These are 10 things you didn't know about LeBron. And first up, the time he ruined someone's life over a Facebook post. The situation started with this play, and even though it wasn't LeBron's craziest dunk, after the game, he posted a picture of it on Facebook. But by the time it racked up a few thousand likes, the photographer who took the pic, Steve Mitchell, turned LeBron's post into a legal battle. Mitchell typically uploads his photos online where you can purchase a license to use them. So when he saw LeBron posted his pic all over social media for free, Mitchell contacted his lawyer to sue LeBron for copyright infringement and demanded $150,000 for the damages. Now, I'm not even sure why a lawyer would take this case, knowing LeBron literally posted a picture of himself. And when LeBron heard about the lawsuit, he felt Mitchell was just trying to secure an easy bag and waste his time. So he countersued Mitchell for $1 million, sending the dude into bankruptcy. Look at LeBron, man, dubbing people on the court and in the courtroom. But that's just one of the 10 craziest stories of LeBron James' career. So let's take things to another level, where one destructive decision cost LeBron $50 million. After LeBron's losing season with the Lakers, he traded away damn near the entire team for Anthony Davis. At first, this seemed amazing, until LeBron realized this move was secretly about to cost himself millions. See, LeBron knew that throughout Anthony Davis's entire career, he'd always worn the number 23. And obviously on the Lakers, LeBron already wore the number, but he knew how significant it was to AD. So to show AD some extra appreciation for coming to LA, LeBron passed him the jersey number. But as soon as LeBron revealed AD was becoming the new 23, LeBron got a surprise call from Nike, and they broke some horrible news. Apparently the next season's NBA fan gear was already made, including millions of LeBron Laker jerseys with the number 23. So the only way he could switch numbers was destroying all of the inventory. And just think, NBA jerseys can run you at least $50 each. So LeBron decided to wait it out. He stuck with 23, forced AD to settle on number 3, and the next year, when LeBron could officially switch his number, AD realized he didn't even want 23 anymore. Damn, imagine if LeBron spent $50 million for no reason. Well, that still wouldn't be as bad as the injury that completely changed LeBron's life. At St. Vincent St. Mary High School, a 17-year-old LeBron was already on top of the sports world, because not only was he dominating basketball, he was becoming an even more legendary football player. On the field, nobody had ever seen anything like LeBron. From his sophomore to junior year, LeBron racked up over 100 receptions, 23 touchdowns, and was already being compared to NFL legends. So with D1 offers rolling in, LeBron's future was 50-50. He was either going pro in football or basketball. And cause he loved both sports, LeBron just couldn't make a decision until a summer league game. His fate was decided for him. As LeBron ran down court on a fast break, he slammed it like he'd done a million times. But this time, LeBron suffered a devastating injury and was rushed to the hospital. Right when LeBron arrived, the doctors realized something horrifying. LeBron's wrist was completely shattered. So doctors let LeBron know he wouldn't be able to play sports for at least 2 months. Now, LeBron was faced with a life-changing ultimatum: football or basketball. If he returned to the field, he'd be risking another injury, ruining all chances of making the NFL or NBA. So with the media attention at an all-time high and having an entire family depending on LeBron, he made a decision nobody saw coming. LeBron knew about the NBA's strict draft eligibility, including a rule that required all teenagers to graduate high school and be at least 18 years old. But LeBron knew playing against jealous high schoolers put a target on his back. So not long after his injury, LeBron petitioned to drop out of school and join the NBA early. But the league felt approving his request could spark a worldwide controversy. so LeBron was denied. Now being forced to play out his senior year, LeBron knew it was now or never to secure his spot in the NBA. But little did he know, he was making the biggest mistake of his career. See, when LeBron returned to the court, not only did he put up the best numbers of his life, he led his high school to their 3rd championship in 4 years and officially became the world's top prospect. All that success set LeBron up to be the top pick of the 2003 NBA draft, but that's when LeBron realized that extra year of high school was actually a curse. During LeBron's 2002 high school season, the NBA was a completely different place. One team was astronomically worse than every other franchise, the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were on pace to end their season winning less than 20 games, which would almost guarantee them the #1 pick in the draft. So with Cleveland being LeBron's hometown team, he should have been hyped. But after the Cavs invited him to their workouts and games, LeBron realized just how horrible the team was and why their arena was so empty. He did not want to be a Cavalier, but the decision wasn't up to him. Eventually, Cleveland finished the year 17-65, securing the #1 pick. And when draft day came, it was official. LeBron was now a Cleveland Cavalier. But little did he know, joining this team would almost get him killed. And now that we're getting into the top 5 craziest stories of LeBron's career, let's take things to a whole new level. Throughout the first 3 seasons of LeBron's career, he put the Cavaliers on his back and developed into one of the NBA's greatest scorers. So he was voted into the 2006 NBA All-Star Game. But that's where things turned deadly. Coming into All-Star Weekend, LeBron and his Cavs teammates had a simple flight plan. Hop on the team plane, fly from Cleveland to Detroit, then head to the All-Star event in Houston. But right when LeBron took a look at the plane, he already knew something was wrong.
I had always complained about our team plane. It was old, it was run down, but I always felt like something could actually happen to this plane.
Up to this point, nobody took LeBron's fear of flying seriously. Besides, takeoff was smooth, the plane was in the air, and this was something everybody had been through 100 times. But halfway through the flight, the lights began to flicker, and in came the turbulence. The pilots went into a panic, and as soon as they saw the smoke, everybody feared for their lives.
Every single body on the plane from Detroit to Houston thought they were going to die. We looked into the kitchen at one point in the flight, and there was smoke coming out of the kitchen.
The plane came in hot, and luckily, the team landed safely. LeBron knew that day could have been his last, so when he hopped off the flight and made his way to the stadium, he made sure he dominated the All-Star game, securing both the win and the MVP. But even almost dying ain't as crazy as the psychotic fan who impersonated LeBron's dad just to rob him of millions of dollars. See, LeBron went his entire life without knowing his real father. And being left in the dark, LeBron shared his feelings with the world.
You know, my whole life growing up, I think I just kind of always said, why me? You know, why me? Why didn't my dad want to be around?
Once LeBron made the NBA, he shrugged off the thought of his dad and focused on becoming great. And at first, it looked like nothing could stop LeBron until he randomly got hit with a life-changing scandal. July 8th, 2010. On live TV, LeBron announced a decision that made him one of the most infamous people on the planet, signing to the Miami Heat. And this became one of the most viral moments in sports history. So it was the perfect time for LeBron's dad to make his own headline. Out of nowhere, a man named Lester Bryce Stovall claimed he was LeBron's father. But not only that, he was suing LeBron and his mom Gloria for $4 million because of a DNA cover-up scandal. And the entire situation started 26 years earlier. March 15th, 1984. Lester claimed he showed up at the DC Space Bar and met LeBron's mom. She claimed she was in her 20s and looking for a good time. So eventually, Lester took her home and described the situation with Gloria as intimate. But later that night, Lester was ashamed of his performance and decided to leave without any intentions of contacting Gloria again until a few weeks later. It was Gloria, and she was pregnant. At that moment, Lester just couldn't believe it. So all he told Gloria was, well, if he's mine, make sure he plays basketball, and hung up. And keep in mind, this was the end of March, 9 months before December. And when was LeBron eventually born? December 30th, 1984. But it wasn't until 23 years later, Lester regretted that phone call. December 5th, 2007. The time had finally come that Lester realized he messed up. LeBron was now dominating the NBA and became a multi-millionaire. So Lester called up Gloria. He apologized and even tried reconnecting with her and LeBron. But it was too late. Gloria wanted nothing to do with Lester. And since she knew LeBron turned himself into a star, she not only didn't want Lester to come around, she apparently threatened to get Lester beat up if he ever called again. But a few days later, LeBron heard about the call and desperately wanted to know if this man was telling the truth. So they agreed to a DNA test. The results came in the mail. Lester was not the father, or so LeBron and Gloria made it seem. Lester felt something shady went down with the tests and believed LeBron and Gloria tampered with them to cover up the evidence. Lester claimed he looked exactly like LeBron. They had the same body types, same height.
We're approximately the same height.
Hell, in basketball, they even dunked the same, and that there was no way he wasn't LeBron's father. So Lester filed a $4 million lawsuit against LeBron and Gloria for fraud, defamation, and misrepresentation. The claims went back and forth, but LeBron refused to comment. And finally in 2011, a judge analyzed the story and felt Lester was trying to make a quick buck just for being LeBron's dad. So the case was dismissed, and LeBron never acknowledged Lester again. To this day, LeBron still doesn't know who his real dad is. I just wonder if that's what led to LeBron's addictions. Or maybe it was this year's nightmare season, because LeBron's Laker teammates were so bad, he had no choice but to put players half his age on his back and carry them all year long. Like, how is that even possible? He's 37 years old. Well, it turns out, LeBron's been hiding things. And recently, he revealed his secrets. LeBron can't go a single day without watching HitFlix. Yeah, even LeBron's a fan. So if you want to be the next LeBron James, subscribe. Anyways, LeBron also said,
I'll go home, drink wine or drink tequila every night. None of that stuff matters to me.
Yeah. Can you really blame LeBron for drinking every single night when he's got teammates who do this? Even when LeBron's on the bench, he needs alcohol. Now that's crazy, but at least nobody almost died. Like the time LeBron had to save an NBA legend's life. Right after LeBron lost the 2015 finals, he needed to take his mind off basketball. So he hit up his boys Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul, and Carmelo Anthony for a trip to the Bahamas. But little did LeBron know, this trip was about to turn into one of the scariest moments of his life. Right when the boys flew in, they all figured it was time to celebrate, drinking wine. And that's when they came up with a brilliant idea to head into the ocean on a banana boat. But as they made their way deep into the water, that's when the wind and the waves picked up, where all of a sudden, Carmelo was drowning. Everybody had to think fast. And with LeBron being the only one who could swim, it was up to him to save the day.
He jumped off the boat into the water. He was bringing me back with one arm. Nah, he saved my life. I can't hold you. He saved my life. He saved my life.
Damn, saving players on and off the court. But even that ain't the craziest LeBron story you'll ever hear. What if I told you that over the last few years, LeBron's been dropping hints that he's leaving the NBA? We've already seen LeBron trying out other opportunities, making and delivering pizzas, acting in movies, but LeBron's always kept his eyes on another profession. In 2011, he made a secret $6 million investment in a Liverpool's football club. And when the news broke, nobody thought much of it. But all along, there's been a deeper plan.
You know, if I put all my time into the sport, professional soccer, I think I would be able to do it.
Now, many people took that as a joke, but ever since that announcement, LeBron's been spotted visiting their stadium, rocking their gear, and one of Liverpool's own players even offered to give up the number 6 for LeBron to come and join their club. Ironically, right after, LeBron received his own Liverpool jersey and randomly posted it on Facebook. He even let the coach know he'd be happy to join them on the field whenever. See, LeBron's stake in Liverpool has always been bigger than just an investment. That's why he's been right by Liverpool's side, tweeting about their success and celebrating their championship wins. But what really made LeBron's secret plan obvious is when he posted Liverpool's logo on Instagram. And shortly after, Nike announced LeBron's very own Liverpool clothing line. Everyone knows that at this point in LeBron's career, he's only chasing two things: championships and his idol Michael Jordan. And what did MJ do at the end of his own career? Join another sport. LeBron's known all along that if his mission with the Lakers failed, he'd have another opportunity. And that's why even when he's playing basketball, he's wearing Liverpool kits. So joining their club helps him accomplish all of his goals. And joining pro football, that might just be the craziest thing that's happened to LeBron's career since he got embarrassed by a rookie. These are 20 things you didn't know about NBA players. And at number 20, LaMelo Ball is the craziest driver in the NBA. LaMelo's been pulling up in Lambos since he was a teenager, and his cars only got crazier since. That's why fans can't wait to see him pull up.
We finna see LaMelo Ball.
But LaMelo's always speeding, running red lights, almost causing car accidents, and the one time fans saw him on the freeway, he raced them. LaMelo just can't live without driving reckless. But at number 19, what Stephen Curry can't live without, has me thinking he's the horniest player in the NBA.
Which could you not live without for 1 month? Sex, coffee, your phone, or weed? Babe, what could you not live without for 1 month?
Sex, for sure.
Okay.
Okay, I was just making sure we're on the same page now. 10 years in, we better be on the same page.
Here's to that.
Just look at Curry, man. Hitting threes on the court and in the bedroom. But Curry is Curry. At number 18, Kyrie Irving is secretly an old man?
Transformation is complete.
Push it, old man. Watch your back.
Damn, Kyrie can get buckets on anybody. But something he can't get is number 17. Cause LeBron James has just received something nobody else in the world owns. It all started the night that he was about to set one of the most legendary records of all time.
The end of the third quarter. LeBron James, a shot at history. LeBron stands alone!
And obviously becoming the all-time leading scorer cemented him in NBA history. But the Lakers wanted LeBron's accomplishment to be gold and diamond. So they hit up Eliante Jewelers to design a masterpiece that made headlines everywhere. This chain and pennant represents LeBron's record, combined with his logos, jersey numbers, and all of his career's biggest milestones. So of course LeBron flexed that he had the best net game in the NBA. And with a chain like that, maybe he should rap. Or get rap lessons from number 16. Cause Aaron Gordon's the only NBA player to drop a diss track to the NBA? What started off as him throwing down dunks you only see in video games led to one of the harshest judges in the world, Dwayne Wade, feeling like those dunks weren't good enough and gave him a 9. It caused Aaron to lose the contest unfairly, so he retired from the competition forever. And because he was so salty about that 9 out of 10, that's what he named his diss track.
Looking at your judgment and everyone's wondering. Even Adam Silver told me I deserve the gold. Didn't get the trophy, but I got something to hold. These forgive me, bro, I won't sell my soul. Big chillin', paint me as a villain. Now he jumped over the biggest dude in the building. God willing, the best and I still am. Your judgment gives me no fulfillment.
Wow, Aaron killed him. But at number 15, James Harden almost never existed.
What nickname, James, did your mom give you when you were born?
She didn't give me a nickname.
Lucky.
She called you Lucky because between her last child being born,
My sister.
and you being born, do you know what happened?
No.
She had a series of miscarriages.
I never knew that. Emmanuel Willis is just a strong-minded human being, and I think that's where I got it from.
Man, Harden didn't even know the story himself until that interview. Luckily, everything was okay, and baby Harden turned out to be one of the happiest kids I've ever seen. But at number 14, Trae Young's baby picture made him one of the most viral kids I've ever seen. Before a playoff game against the 76ers, a company said they'd donate 2,000 diapers for every single point he scored. And dude dropped 34 points, meaning they had to give out a ridiculous 68,000 diapers, so of course it went viral.
The diaper company called Hello Bello donated diapers to Atlanta area babies during Game 6 of the last series. That's 2,000 diapers for every point that Trae Young scored.
That's a shit ton of boxes. And cause the world hadn't really seen his baby pics before, everybody was talking about it until Trae even called himself Trae Younger. But the craziest part is, Trae's hair is what the people cared most about.
I like Trae Young, but his hair looks like a lollipop that got dropped on the carpet. What flavor lollipop? It may be delicious.
Damn, Trae really has the worst jokes I've ever heard. But at number 13, Anthony Edwards stars in the best movies I've ever seen. Recently, he was a main character in one of the biggest movies in Netflix history, Hustle.
Look, she likes me.
The movie became such a success, Edwards began spending all of his time outside of basketball filming even more movies.
It's dangerous.
Danger's my middle name. I lied. My middle name is Jamal. We should have never left the ship.
Now, at least he is figuring out safe ways to live life. Cause at number 12, what Karl Anthony Towns did almost got him killed.
I had 5% a chance of making it out alive.
He was just driving down the street thinking life was good, when out of nowhere, he was struck by a semi-truck and both vehicles were completely totaled.
As that semi hit, I mean, you saw your life kind of flash before your eyes there?
Nah, it happened too quick. I didn't know what the hell hit me, so I was kind of like confused. But the car in front of us stopped, and we stopped, and I looked at our trainer, Kurt, looked at him and complained about the car in front of us stopping so hard, and he was saying, the truck is not slowing down behind us. And next thing you know, we got hit. It happened so quick. So, I'm just glad everyone's safe in the accidents. Obviously, like I said, it could have been much worse. And in all honesty, probably should not have made it out like I did, but glad I did.
Damn. Towns surviving a car accident and being able to joke about it right after? That's crazy. But not as crazy as the training routines Jamal Murray went through just to make the NBA at number 11.
Those days at the court started very early. It always turned into a practice. The weather's gonna be there, you just put some gloves on. It wasn't work to me.
Push-ups, dribbling on the ice, working on your balance. Some days we just go and take shots, and if you miss a shot, you gotta run hill. So you'll do 100 meters basically up the hill, come back down, take the shot to create that mental focus.
This all sounds very involved. It's like a Navy SEAL training course.
Yeah, but fun.
Do you remember when the hot tea came up for the first time?
I had an idea. You talked about it all the time. You try holding it together for as long as you can, just getting through that pain.
How many doubters were there?
I mean, everybody, other than him.
And Jamal didn't care how many doubters he had. All he ever focused on was June 23rd, 2016, draft night.
With the 7th pick in the 2016 NBA Draft, the Denver Nuggets select Jamal Murray from Kitchener, Canada, and the University of Kentucky.
Damn, man. If only my dad did that for me, maybe I would have been the next pick.
With the 8th pick, HitFlix from the University of Washington.
But now that we're getting into the top 10 things you didn't know about NBA players, let's take things to a new level where one player gave up basketball to drive tanks? This is Lauri Markkanen, and he might seem like an innocent white boy, but he's actually a murderer. So Lauri's country's military needed him. Besides, where he grew up in Finland, it's actually a mandatory law that all men serve in the military anyways, and they forced him off the court into the field.
You do have a 6-month commitment overall before the age of 30 to serve in the Finnish army. So what are you doing on a day-to-day basis?
Days are pretty long. We wake up early and go for probably 10, 12 hours straight, but it's been fun getting to know a lot of new guys and making some new friends, and you have to go through it together. So it's actually been pretty good.
Damn, They really made dude give up basketball and cut his afro? Well, Lauri could handle it, but not even joining the military could prepare Giannis for number 9, where he got into the craziest beef in NBA history. After Giannis had a horrible shooting night, going 4 of 15 from the free throw line and cost his team the game, he decided to stay after practice in his opponent's arena, but some people didn't like that.
Let him shoot! Get this! Yo! Oh!
Now, even though Giannis manhandled that ladder and got to practice for a bit longer, the ladder came back for revenge in one of the craziest memes in NBA history.
Select ladder.
Oh, that's going to be a flagrant, and I think that might be a flagrant too.
It's not a basketball play.
That is not. Wow.
On review, a flagrant foul warranting what has been assessed.
Damn, that ladder got hella emotional. But the most emotional story in today's NBA is number 8. Because what happened to John Wall almost made him kill himself. Wall came into the NBA as a number 1 pick and instantly turned himself into a superstar. That's why he single-handedly carried the Wizards to the playoffs and even hit game-winning shots.
It's Bradley for 3, John Wall!
Nobody ever saw a player like Wall, but as soon as Wall reached the prime of his career, everything came crashing down. For years, he kept falling victim to one injury after another, till eventually, Wall suffered his worst one yet.
John Wall, already out for the rest of this season because of his injured heel, now needs surgery for a ruptured Achilles.
This is a major injury for a player like this.
He loves the sport, he loves playing, you can see that in his game. This is just heartbreaking. I mean, no matter how you feel about the Washington Wizards, no matter how you feel about John, this is just terrible.
This is a career-changing injury because everything about John Wall is predicated on his speed.
Yep.
And after that announcement, Wall was sidelined for over a year. But it wasn't just the injuries that began making it the most emotional time of his life. Wall was dealing with all the closest people to him, like his best friend, mom, and grandma, passing away.
She really touched your heart, didn't she?
At the same time, he was never able to recover and be the player he once was. So eventually the city he gave everything to traded him to the Rockets, literally the worst team in the league. And that made Wall want to end his life.
If it weren't for my kids, I wouldn't be here. Like I said before, you're in a dark place. Like, people don't know I had torn my Achilles, I had 4 infections, I almost had to cut my foot off. And my career's about to be over. My mom diagnosed with breast cancer, and then she passed. Then I get traded. Then my grandma died a year later. Then I'm not playing basketball, you know what I mean? I'm in a bad spot. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why all this gotta happen to me? Like, I go from the second best player in the East, then everything's going, you know what I mean? To like basically rock bottom. Like, I mean, that's when I asked for help. I went and got a therapist and I'm like, yo, I need help.
Yeah.
That's the problem with us as African-American men is like, we grow up with really no father figure a lot of times. And we feel like we don't need help. We the man in the house, like we can figure shit out on our own.
Yeah.
Until I realized like, you was not about to be here no more. Like, you do need help.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't mind speaking out and helping other people out. A lot of people write me all the time like, yo, you be saving a lot of people's lives. I'm like, I'm just being myself, just being genuine and being real.
So obviously with a star player talking like that, the story made its way everywhere. And it just shows that you never really know what someone's going through behind the scenes. Well, actually, at number 7, I know exactly what Kevin Durant does, and it used to be illegal. The man almost got exposed by TMZ before.
Uh-oh, dropping the weed.
And after that, he started doing some suspicious handshakes with his teammates. The clues have been adding up for a while, so eventually, KD came out about his secret.
To me, it clears the distractions out your brain a little bit. Settles you down. It's like having a glass of wine.
Yeah. So did you smoke today?
I'm actually high right now.
All right, KD, I see you. With that lifetime Nike deal, I already know you rich enough to throw in sometime. But nothing KD puts in his mouth could have him acting like number 6, where De'Aaron Fox did things so crazy, the NBA invented a brand new award for him. De'Aaron recently became one of the clutchest players in NBA history with plays like these.
Fox to Fox from midcourt. Got it! De'Aaron Fox!
Ooh, crossover. Fox goes, hangs and scores!
So yeah, De'Aaron's resume spoke to the NBA in a way that made them announce something special.
The NBA has a brand new award this season.
The Kia 2023 Clutch Player of the Year award goes to De'Aaron Fox from the Sacramento Kings.
You gotta be proud of De'Aaron, man. But you also gotta be proud of Devin Booker, because at number 5, he did something unreal to honor Kobe. These two were more than competitors. They were brothers. So after Kobe's passing, no player was more devastated than Book. Not only was he getting emotional at games and during interviews, all because of the last moment they shared together, Book made sure Kobe followed him everywhere he goes.
We had a short conversation on the court, and then he left me with, meet me in the back. And that's when he signed the shoes to me. One shoe said, "To the young one," and the next one was, "To Book, be legendary." I got "Be Legendary" tatted on my arm. That's something that Kobe left me with that still keeps me motivated and will always keep me going.
Wow, respect to Book for keeping it real. But at number 4, Russell Westbrook spent over 3 decades lying to the world. Fans got suspicious when they noticed him signing autographs with his left hand. Then, when he was spotted wearing a watch that's specifically designed for left-handed people, things didn't get weird though, till Westbrook was in an interview where a reporter mentioned how he shoots with his right hand but writes with his left hand, and Westbrook demanded they don't put that in their article. So, I guess he's just trying to have people not be able to stop him from making plays like these.
Brought it right back up. Here goes Russ with the left hand. Russell Westbrook, left hand.
I don't know, I mean, Westbrook's always doing things that don't make sense. He's a grown man who wears dresses.
Bro, if you put on a dress, you a bitch.
But at number 3, what Damian Lillard did made the NBA force him to get drug tested. See, the NBA doesn't like it when players do things that even Michael Jordan couldn't do. But Dame was willing to do whatever it took to win games. Cause after all, he plays in Portland, and they are ass. So he started dropping 40-point games on a nightly basis, which led him to surpass one of MJ's craziest records. But Dame stayed hungry till February 26th, 2023, the night he pulled off one of the craziest games in NBA history.
Fakes, hangs, finds Dame, step back 3, powered it up and in, and a burst into the lane, flushed him with a right hand. High dribble, into the lane, running right-hander up and in, Damian Lillard with that runner. 71 points, a career high.
Hold up, 71 points. This was one of the most legendary performances in NBA history, and even had Dame recreating one of the most iconic pictures of all time. At least we know Dame's really happened though. But the NBA felt there was no way a human being could be going this off and forced him to get drug tested.
I mean, honestly, I was like, are y'all serious? I did the urine test yesterday, and then they backed it up with the blood draw tonight after the game. That's actually my first time in my career being tested after a game. And then aside from that, they know that I'm scared of needles, so.
Man, the NBA really ruined one of Dame's proudest moments. Kinda reminds me of number 2, where Paolo Banchero got humiliated by a car company. The NBA draft was a moment Paolo waited his entire life for. So when the day finally came, he wore an outfit that had reporters getting wet just talking about it.
I mean, it's blinging. It's blinging. It's giving diamonds.
You walked in like 2 minutes ago, and you're the first draftee that walked in. I was like, already, I've seen best dressed.
Custom suit. I did the purple, funny story. Obviously, I went to Duke. Both my parents went to Washington. So when I first committed to Duke,
shout out Pac-12.
A lot of people gave him trouble, for me not staying home and whatnot. So this is my I'm sorry gift to them, wearing the Washington purple.
Now a purple suit, custom chain, and some chrome shoes, I mean, that's cool and all. But when the world watched him get selected with the number 1 pick, not only were fans claiming he looked like the Joker and was gonna fight Batman, Paolo's new teammates agreed.
It's giving me Joker vibes. I'm not gonna lie.
But the craziest part of anybody seeing the fit was when the car company Dodge turned Paolo's drip into a new whip. So what did Paolo have to say about all of that?
I don't even know what to say. I can't believe what just happened.
Tam, it's a sad day when you can't even dress how you want. But the saddest story I ever heard was number 1. And I guarantee you never knew that Chris Paul only became a legend because the closest person to him was murdered. At one point, Chris seemed like the happiest kid in the world because of basketball and family.
I felt my granddad was my biggest fan. I'd go out to the service station to see him, and you know, he'd just be, he's always bragging on me and my brother about how good we were, and he just made me feel different.
The very next day, November 15th, Chris was at a high school football game when a cousin told him shocking news. His grandfather had been found murdered. Still grieving days later, Chris seized on a plan to honor his grandfather in his next game by scoring 1 point for every year of his grandfather's life, all 61 of them. Chris scored 24 points in the second quarter alone.
And this is one of the times that I just felt there's no way, I don't care what kind of defense you play, who you put in front of me, there's no way you're going to stop me from getting that goal. The whole game I was just thinking about my granddad, just thinking, you know, he's in heaven, he's watching this game. He's watching this game. Every time somebody hits me to the floor, he's up there jumping out of his seat, getting angry.
With less than 2 minutes to go in the game, Chris had scored 59 points. Then he drove to the hoop, took a hard foul, and the shot dropped. He had his 61.
Felt like I could have just died and went to heaven right there. It felt like my purpose for being here was almost over. I walked to the free throw line, the referee gave me the ball and shot an air ball right out of bounds. And my coach took me out. I just looked at my dad and started crying.
Damn. Now I want to see Chris Paul turn video games into reality and win a championship for his grandpa. Now that would be wild. From Shai's secret relationship with refs and beef with an NBA legend.
You know, not signing SGA kind of hurt me personally.
To changing his identity to a completely different person and so much more, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a lot more than an MVP, NBA champion, and record-setting basketball player. And first, I bet you didn't know that what Shai wears literally won him awards, helped him make over $200 million, and had him telling some of the craziest clothes stories of any NBA player ever. See, whether it's an old gold leather outfit, a jacket that turned him into a furry, clothes with crazy looking creatures on them, a fit that makes him look like a piano, or even these ugly red boots which actually led to something historic you didn't know about him later in this video. Shai is always wearing unique clothes, which won him awards for being the best dressed player. He was named GQ's Most Stylish Man of the Year, which got him on magazine covers. Then it even helped him become brand ambassadors for companies like Canada Goose and Skims. Now, doing all that is why I couldn't even find one pic of Shai wearing the same outfit more than once, which kinda explains why he not only has garage sales to sell old clothes to teammates for cheap, eventually he admitted something else I couldn't believe.
Ever repeat an outfit?
Oh, never. That's impossible. Unless it's like going to the grocery store. But like to a game? No, never in my life, no.
You go to the grocery store?
Oh, no, I don't.
And that is how you know he has too much money. Literally, when man made over $200 million, he literally set the record for highest earning years in NBA history by any player. But speaking of money and things Shai wears, another thing you didn't know about him didn't just cause a tens of millions of dollar controversy. It turned into beef with one of the most legendary NBA players ever.
You know, not signing SGA kind of hurt me personally.
See, Shaq eventually got pissed when he felt disrespected by Shai, because even though Shai's been the face of Converse for a few years and is always wearing their shoes, when his contract with them was up, which meant he was essentially in foot free agency, Shaq wanted to sign him to Reebok.
Sound like one of my favorite players who I think we should go after. Who? SGA.
But once he said that, then also secretly talked to Shai before a game. None of that was enough to convince Shai to join him. He just re-signed a massive deal with Converse, started plans to drop his own signature shoes, and was named the brand's creative director, which pissed Shaq off.
SGA re-signed his deal with Converse.
You know, not signing SGA kind of hurt me personally. And I don't like failing, so now we had to rethink. I know SGA, we could have definitely made him a megastar, but forget him.
Now, honestly, I don't even blame Shai. Who the hell wants to hoop in Reeboks? But to be honest, I also don't think I'd rock Shai's shoes either. They literally zip up like a jacket. And once I saw refs literally rocking his shoes nowadays, I said, hell nah, dude must be paying him or something. And Shai's secret relationship with NBA refs only get crazier in another story later on that involves terrible calls, a brand new statue outside of OKC Stadium, and so much more. But you ain't ready for that yet. First, you definitely didn't know that Shai dealt with such an evil girl. It actually helped him predict the future. Cause when he and his girl were still teenagers in high school, they were sitting in the nosebleeds at a Raptors game where Shai predicted that he'd do something he had less than a 1% chance of even happening.
I don't remember being as high as she remembers, but I do remember the game. And I do remember telling her that I was gonna play in the NBA one day. I also remember her not believing me, like just naturally. She was just like, both kids from Hamilton. I think I was like 17, she was 16 at the time. Like, yeah, she didn't believe me at all.
Once Shai heard that, he didn't just use it as fuel to finish high school as one of the top players in the nation. He worked hard enough to get recruited to play for arguably the best college basketball program possible where he dominated. Then just 1 year later, when he finally had a chance to make his dreams come true and prove his girl wrong,
the Charlotte Hornets select Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from Hamilton, Canada, and the University of Kentucky.
Shout out to Shai for believing in himself, because only 0.03% of high school boys actually make it to the NBA. So I'm just surprised he even stayed with that girl. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, now I see why. God damn, she's fine. Ooh. Anyways, something else a lot of people don't know about Shai actually involves a tattoo, Drake, and something so crazy that it racked up over 50 million views. See, since Shai is from Canada, just like
Drake? Drake?
Shai isn't always singing his music during warm-ups and putting on a show for Drake in games. They've gotten so close over the years that Drake glazed him right back by covering up his iconic LeBron Irish 23 tattoo with a Thunder 2 tattoo for Shai. Getting a tattoo of other men was already crazy, but Drake also invited Shai to make an appearance in the video for his popular song Nokia.
My brother, my friend, allowed me to be involved in his music video this year for the Nokia. Amazing song, amazing track. Just to be able to be part of it, be able to show the world my shoe. I guess that was one of the first times they saw multiple colorways. And yeah, just to be a part of the moment. So I appreciate my brother for letting me do that.
But all right. The even crazier part is, Shai almost never became who he was or even played basketball in the first place, because he almost died in a completely different sport. See, once this pic of Shai playing football as a kid went viral, then people saw he recently showed up to his high school's homecoming football game. Even though fans dreamed about the possibility of him playing in the NFL by swapping his jersey to turn him into stars like Lamar Jackson and Justin Jefferson, Shai actually revealed why he quit football and how it forced him into basketball.
Do you think that you could ever play for the NFL?
No chance. No.
You wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't disrespect them like that, nah.
But growing up, did you play football?
I did a little bit. I quit very quickly.
Okay.
I played running back, so I got hit a lot. And I fell on the football and got the wind knocked out of me. And I didn't like that at all, so I quit right away.
You said, I'm gonna go right to basketball.
Yeah.
Man, turning into a hooping superstar just because he was scarred for life in another sport is crazy. But it only reminds me of another thing you didn't know about Shai, his unique opinion on the most debated topic in sports history. Things get absolutely heated between sports fans when anyone mentions one thing about the NBA's GOAT debate.
Did that ever happen to Jordan? No.
Shut up, old man. LeBron is and will always be my GOAT. But even though he, Jordan, Larry, Wilt, Kobe, and Shaq are most players' #1 pick, Shai feels different.
Kobe is Michael Jordan, just on a steroid. You're talking about skills. What are you talking about? I'm talking about best player. Kobe has 5 rings. What's your argument? All around. And I'm saying all around, Kobe Bryant. Kobe 1, Bryant 2, Mike 3.
And yeah, he didn't just feel Kobe was the overall absolute best player of all time. He actually felt another current player is the most skilled player ever.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Skill alone, KD's once. Okay. KD is 7 feet. I can do everything Steph Curry can do. Come on, man. There's nothing you can't. Come on, boy. Competitive nature, championship. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
Alright. KD's good. You know, he can make plays like this.
Durant for 3. Yes, he got it! Kevin Durant gives the Rockets the lead!
But being the GOAT is definitely not something I thought I'd ever hear anyone say. But his journey to the NBA wasn't so simple, because another thing you didn't know about Shai involved some crazy head game and had him copying Jayson Tatum and Michael Jordan. See, what happened to all of them was nearly identical, because even though Shai thought he was good at hooping in high school, he eventually got hit with some terrible news.
I tried out for my high school JV team in 9th grade. I thought I was good. I thought I was gonna make the team. Didn't end up making it. Obviously was disappointed and upset. I wasn't as good as basketball as I thought I was. And I just knew I wanted to get to a really high level, and I was willing to do whatever it took.
But after working hard enough to eventually make the team, then be blessed enough to get offers from amazing colleges, Shai joined Kentucky where he did all right at first, until he did something else you didn't know about him. He cut his hair, which had him going from looking like this to much shorter like this. And doing that somehow immediately leveled up his game, helped him become a starter, helped him win a tournament MVP, and had him expected to become a first-round draft pick in the NBA. All of that is especially crazy when you realize that the GOAT Michael Jordan not only also didn't make his high school team, Jordan also took his game to a whole new level in college right after he cut his hair. I mean, listen, same thing even happened with Jayson Tatum. He debuted a new hairstyle a few years ago, then played so bad, he claimed his hair was cursed. So not only did he immediately cut it, after that, he immediately went to superstar level and eventually became a champion, just like Shai ended up winning as well. Weird ass coincidences, man. But oddly enough, what you also didn't know about Shai is just a few minutes of his life turned into one of the most criticized and ass things that an NBA team ever did to a player. See, like I showed you earlier, Shai got drafted and most people didn't know that his career began with the Hornets, but his career with them lasted as long as I do in bet. He was traded literally minutes later to the Clippers, where he only played 1 season and then became part of what is known as the worst trade in NBA history. See, news broke that the Thunder traded Paul George to the Clippers for, are you ready? Shai, Danilo Gallinari, and 5 first-round picks, including 2 more pick swaps. Now, alright, I'm not gonna lie, at first I thought the Clippers easily won that trade, because Paul George at the time was a huge name in the league and a crazy superstar already, but things definitely didn't go as planned, because Paul never reached levels he was before, somehow actually became injury prone and some absolute ass, then switched teams again to where him having a good game is rare, and basically never even caused anything beneficial to happen ever again. At the same time though, Shai leveled up year by year and not only became one of the best players in the league with the Thunder, OKC also used Shai, plus all those free draft picks to create a championship roster, and years later, they still have first round picks from the deal while being championship contenders and the best team in the league. These guys really pull off a heist like GTA, man. But would you believe me if I said Shai bought one of the rarest cars on the planet, all because of his connection with someone who died? Virgil Abloh wasn't just a fashion designer and Louis Vuitton's artistic director. He got close with Shai after LV collabed with the NBA to make jackets, chains, backpacks, and more, where Shai became the face of the campaign. But just a year later, Virgil sadly passed away. Shai wasn't just devastated and started wearing LV even more to honor him. Shai eventually bought a car that Virgil was helping design, which had a 2-tone black and sand paint job, including the iconic brown color scheme of the brand's products. Then the dash has what looks like 2 iPads on it, speakers that pop out for music, automatic doors, and lights that make it look like Shai's driving a UFO. If that wasn't enough, there's even a badge in the center that proves how rare the car is, one of only 150 in the world, and costs $500,000. But one thing I definitely didn't know about is that Shai had one of the worst diets in NBA history, so he needed his life and career saved by an NBA legend. Because as a young player, he admitted his obsession with places like Domino's and Cheesecake Factory. Now, I can't even blame him for that last one, because their menu is literally big as a book, and everything on it is good as hell. But listen, luckily for Shai, his teammate at the time, Chris Paul, actually started showing him how to take care of his body and eat much better to hopefully reach new heights. So even though Shai still occasionally enjoys his absolute favorite snacks like,
is it apple pie, is it pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie, are we not doing dessert?
Strawberry cheesecake, grandma special. Jumbo sour keys, zesty Doritos. Oh, we have fuzzy peaches, we need sour cherry glasses. There's a lot of candies that can go all day.
Recently, he's completely changed his diet to eating healthy things like chicken patties, oxtail, rice, peas, and even plenty of fruits.
Strawberries, grapes, apples, healthy stuff, you know?
But flipping his diet around doesn't just have him literally eating apples while warming up for games. Doing all that helped him turn into a superstar player, so I'm not even surprised that he thinks eating junk food is gross and had the absolute worst cereal ranking I've ever seen.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, 5.
This is the worst start that someone's had today.
Fruity Pebbles
is next.
4.
Okay.
Cracklin Oat Bran, it's healthier. Captain Crunch Berries.
Okay.
At 2.
Cheerios at 1.
Cheerios at 1. You could throw a fruit in there.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, dude is definitely tripping for saying that. But look, even though I'm an NBA YouTubing hooping nerd, even I didn't know that one of the best players ever inspired Shai to form an alter ego. All cause the legendary Allen Iverson was known as a guard that even though he was tiny, he was still confident, wasn't afraid of any person or any moment, and honestly was one of the first players ever with actual swag. That was something Shai idolized as a kid and wanted to be just like, so his trainer eventually said when Shai was younger, he wasn't physically there. But I saw that he embodied an alter ego because he was still throwing his body around against big guys with the mindset of Iverson. it helped him. So yeah, Iverson wasn't just a player that Shai picked to turn into when his trainer forced him to become an alter ego on the court. Shai modeling his game and style after Iverson obviously paid off, so once Shai talked about his influence on him.
My dad was a big fan, so his games were always on TV. When he came to Toronto, we always went. And honestly, I think like in that era, every kid's favorite player was Allen Iverson. How he played the game. I'm not the only kid that loved AI.
After that, Iverson must have heard, because he was giving a speech and actually gave Shai the ultimate praise.
But I swear, you guys got to practice to become whatever you're trying to become in life. You think Shai didn't practice, become the MVP, best player in the world, after practice.
Man, being called the best in the world by an icon is crazy. Regardless, there's absolutely no way that you knew that Shai had to save his entire family's lives after a scandal had him being hunted by killers. Shai had just moved into this massive mansion, but not long after getting his dream home, things were about to turn into a nightmare after the history of this house came back to haunt them. Shai didn't know that the previous owner was a known crypto guy who had investors give him more than $40 million and basically scammed them. He spent money on private jets, traveling to all different countries, even buying crazy supercars like these. So when he eventually couldn't pay any of the money back to the investors, it had everyone looking for him to the point where he even got kidnapped from that house and almost beaten to death.
I'm sorry. I really am. I didn't want to or mean to ruin anybody's life.
Now, even after that, sketchy people kept coming to the house looking for the scammer, not knowing that Shai and his family were the ones that moved in there. And they not only demanded their money back regardless if Shai was involved or not, they also threatened to do things like burn the entire place down, which could have killed his entire family. Shai felt him and his family's lives were clearly at risk and eventually filed a lawsuit to cancel the purchase of his house. Now, that decision was something they argued, but eventually the court sided with Shai and he thankfully guided his family to safety by moving out and saved their lives. The whole entire situation is insane, because even though they all thought something that scary was now over with, 2 years later in 2025, Shai was playing in a game when news broke that police were investigating a break-in at a completely different house of his. Damn. Thankfully, Shai's family wasn't home that time either, or else things could have gotten even worse. But what if I told you that something Shai wore to a game ended up ruining one of the most historic nights in NBA history and got him clowned by the entire world? February 7th, 2023 was about to be a legendary night where everybody was anticipating LeBron James over everybody because he was about to break the NBA's scoring record, with cameras flashing and his diamonds dancing as he walked in ready to go. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander stepped in wearing something and stole the show. Now, we ain't even gonna talk about the pants, man. This motherfucker walked in wearing fire hydrants on his feet.
Hell no, man.
Or Ronald McDonald Fords is what another fan called him. These mischief big red boots were going viral at the time for being cartoony, or in other words, ugly. And even though Shai flexed his drip on the gram before the game, where he got absolutely clowned in the comments, I still hoped he was gonna turn up prime MJ and wear him on the court though. Man's probably would have been balling like this. Instead, Shai just rocked his normal shoes when he torched the Lakers during LeBron's historic night and crashed the party. But doing all that definitely helped his boots become a trending topic, and even though he thought they were cool,
I saw them a little bit earlier. I knew they were gonna explode, so I kind of just want to be the first one of the first ones to get on.
A reporter just had to troll Shai during an interview.
Canadian Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was seen wearing these red mischief shoes, so I decided to order them off of Wish. And these are what arrived. Listen, I cannot lie, I got these off of Wish, man, the mischiefs, you know what I'm saying, man? I had to get them off the Wish, though. I had to get them for the low. I ain't got the guap like you, bro. How you feel about it? You think I can get by?
Yeah, you can get by. I'm gonna let you slide today. I'm feeling good.
But 2 records Shai broke this season didn't just make NBA history. One involved $285 million, and another was mathematically impossible. The first came when Shai took over the league to win the scoring title, then won MVP, and also carried his team to a championship while also winning Finals MVP, all in the same season. So coming into the next season, the Thunder wanted to reward him with something historic.
4-year, $285 million. This is now the richest annual salary for a player in league history.
Shai signing a contract that massive meant he's getting paid over $800,000 per game, $1 million per week, $5 million per month, or otherwise known as $71 million per year. And even though the total worth of the contract was $285 million, the $71 million per year was most important because it broke the NBA record for richest annual salary by any NBA player ever. But as insane as that is, the record he broke after that isn't just unbreakable. The odds of it even happening in the first place were 1 in 3.2 quintillion, meaning Shai breaking that record was basically impossible, man. And of course it involved him chasing a record that was held by Wilt Chamberlain, because that man had scored 20 or more points in 126 straight games. But when it came to Shai, from November 1st, 2024, all the way until March 9th, 2026, he went off so much during that time that he also didn't have a single game scoring under 20 points. And for some crazy context, Shai not only sat out for 30% of the fourth quarters during the entire streak, you could literally combine the other top 10 NBA stars' 20-point streaks and they still wouldn't be as high as Shai's. Regardless, that's why when he matched up versus the Celtics sitting at 126 games straight of scoring like that, which tied Wilt's record, the entire world was of course watching while Shai dominated like usual, until one moment made history.
Fires and hits! An incredible streak puts SGA into the record books. 127 consecutive games scoring at least 20 points as he passes the great Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, and after doing that, his team eventually celebrated by getting him wet because they know how insane that record really was. But the final thing you didn't know about Shai involves his secret relationship with referees, paying them, getting his own statue, and pissing off fans. See, NBA fans all around the world have been pissed about what's going on with Shai and the refs. From dude getting away with pushing off then traveling right in front of them, and ridiculous flops that had legends stunned.
They're not going to use the challenge though. I mean, where's the contact? Yeah, and how did you see it from 40 feet away on the other side of the court?
To fans showing proof of him getting calls without ever being touched, and entire edits made about how much he overreacts to minor contact, Shai's even known for foul baiting like when he did it not once, not twice, but 15 times in a single game. And constantly doing that or shooting more free throws per game than entire teams is exactly why when he foul baited against the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards didn't just try to throw a ball at his balls, fans gave Shai a new nickname. Free throw merchant is crazy, but if all that wasn't enough proof that Shai and the refs' relationships are a little too close, people claim that this would be Shai's statue eventually outside the Thunder Arena, a Shai shooting free throws next to a ref. Other people spotted refs literally wearing Shai's signature shoes.
Hell no!
Then things got so out of control, other teams' coaches risked fines over how refs were officiating the game for Shai.
I'm disgusted by the way that game was officiated. The level of disrespect was above and beyond. They have a guy fall down and trip on his own teammate's foot. They review us for a hostile act. They throw an elbow to our chest, neck area. I ask for him, at least take a look at it, right? Just show us the respect to take a look at it, okay? No one would take a look at it, okay? The disrespect has gone far enough, and I'm not gonna allow our guys to be treated the way that they were treated tonight. We deserve a level of respect because we're competing our tails off and bringing something positive to this league. The least that they could do is get the same respect that everybody else in this league gets and get refereed the same way that everybody else in this league gets reffed.
So after all of that, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if Shai's out here secretly paying refs like this before games. Luka Doncic is becoming an NBA legend, but he's got secrets he doesn't tell anybody. Like the time he saved a fan's life, his horrible addiction, and even his secret rap career?
It feels alright, Grandpa, being so young. I've got a plenty of time to win my own.
These are 10 things you didn't know about Luka Doncic. And first, the time he bought his teammate one of the weirdest gifts in NBA history.
It's nice, bro. I'm gonna open it though. For you to keep. Yeah, my dog.
But these all-red Jordans weren't for Dorian to wear. They were for his pet horse? Hold up, this thing has more drip than me. But what Luka's got that I don't are unhealthy addictions that get him clowned by millions of people. While other NBA players are eating healthy food, Luka's been putting something else in his mouth. Not only did he grow up with a weird diet,
When I was younger, I only ate pasta and hamburgers.
his darkest secret got revealed after the NBA's bubble. Apparently when Luka hopped on a plane for a trip home to Slovenia, with what reporters called a McChicken's vodka and hookah diet. But those diets were just the beginning. Luka was spotted drinking beer right before NBA games. He was rumored to be leaving clubs at the same time other players would be hitting the gym. But what we couldn't handle was when cameras caught Luka blowing a hookah. So everybody and their mama was tweeting that he wasn't Luka Doncic anymore. Now, he became Hookah Doncic. And not only did his new name become one of the biggest trending topics on the planet, fans turned his weight gain into memes. But while most fans were making jokes, Luka's diet began ruining his career. In just 1 year, Luka went from weighing 240 pounds to the next year weighing 260. That's an extra 20 pounds of dad bod. No wonder why his jerseys were ripping. But after a devastating loss, where he not only went all game struggling to get up and down the court while needing extra water breaks, his fat ass got clowned on live TV.
Look at Luka's face. He's got a fat face.
Yes.
He's got puffy chipmunk cheeks, right?
Yes.
Only Skip Bayless would be talking about another man's cheeks. But for real, if Luka's copping McChickens, pizzas, or a beer, we're talking about tens of dollars. He spent $1 million just to copy Cristiano Ronaldo. It all started during Luka's childhood when he lived in Slovenia. Typically, everyone's favorite sport there is soccer. So 'cause Luka was forced to watch that, he fell in love with the biggest star player of them all, Cristiano Ronaldo. But it wasn't just the soccer skills that made him Luka's favorite. All because Ronaldo's car collection had Luka imagining what those were like. He not only began learning how to drive when he was only 5, he also dedicated to becoming a star athlete just so he could blow all of his checks on cars. And right after he got drafted, he began making some purchases.
I love cars.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah.
What do you got?
A Porsche, you know.
Yeah? Just one right now?
2.
But after Luka bought his fully customized Porsche 911 Turbo and his lightning blue Porsche Panamera that he can't even park, were just the beginning of a car shopping spree. Luka also copped an all-black Lamborghini Urus that had people calling him the Slovenian Batman. He spent $250,000 on an all-red Ferrari that even had his teammates shook.
Flex on in. Check him out. That's how you doing it, Luka. Woo!
But the most viral car in his $1 million collection wasn't the one he pulled up in, dressed as a cowboy. It was a 6-wheel monster that could survive an apocalypse.
Boss man, this how you get down right here?
Luka's really speeding down the street like this and keeps buying crazy cars, all because of Ronaldo's influence. But these cars are worthless compared to the time Luka saved his own fan's life. Luka was just minding his business when he saw news that a kid from his home country of Slovenia was in trouble. One of his youngest fans, named Chris, was rushed to the hospital where doctors discovered he was suffering from a rare muscle disorder that would keep destroying his body until he became paralyzed. But the worst of it all was that they also predicted Chris only had 8 months to live. Luka was devastated with this news, so he announced on Instagram that he was auctioning off signed memorabilia where all the money earned would be donated towards the boy's treatment. And with Luka having millions of followers worldwide, it wasn't long before he had an entire country rallying together to support Chris with custom shirts and signs. But without the treatment being fully paid for, the support would have been all for nothing. Until Luka not only cashed in $2.2 million of his own money, he helped raise over $5 million, all for Chris. So the family hopped on the very next flight to Los Angeles, and doctors got to work. For a while, things were uncertain, but as Chris progressed through his treatments, eventually doctors let the family know that what Luka did for their boy saved his life. And ironically, on that very same day, Luka came to the city for a matchup at Staples Center. So he even surprised Chris and his family with courtside seats where they shared an emotional moment together. And afterwards, Luka made sure he dominated all night long to pull off an incredible win, all for Chris. Damn, Luka's a super hooper and a superhero. But I bet you didn't know Luka owns something that set a world record. With Luka becoming one of the most legendary players in the NBA, pretty much anything he's touched is now worth millions. But even he didn't know just signing an autograph would become one of the biggest stories in the world when a card collector pulled this.
Logo Man, patch auto 1 of 1. Oh my gosh.
This wasn't just any card. It's the rarest Luka item ever created. His signed rookie card with an NBA logo from his game-worn jersey, and is the only one on the entire planet. Every single Luka fan wanted this card, but ironically, it wasn't until Luka's birthday that it had a news reporter damn near getting wet just talking about it.
This Luka basketball card just sold for $4.6 million, the second most ever paid for a sports card.
And even though it was only the second most expensive sale of a sports card, the man who pulled it said it's the highest paid price for any basketball card in history. And he wasn't capping, just look. But how the hell did Luka's card become worth this much? Well, all because he recently had one of the most legendary moments in sports history. December 27th, 2022. Luka and the Mavericks were looking to take out the trash. The Knicks. But even though this should have been an easy win for Luka's squad, little did he know he'd have to set some of the craziest records ever just to give them a chance. Layups. Middies.
Now that's a basket for Luka.
Even his notorious step-back fadeaway.
And here's Luka, three-pointer over Julius Randle. Yes, sir.
He was doing everything he could to keep his squad in the game. But still, it was hard for one man to beat an entire team. So the Knicks stayed in the lead all game long. Until...
Nothing shocks me about this game.
And that true rim. It's still loose. Luka got it back.
With one of the luckiest plays in NBA history, no wonder why Luka was dancing like a Fortnite character. He not only tied the game, he carried his team into overtime and kept going off till he pulled off the win. Even Luka couldn't believe what he just did.
It's never been done in NBA history, a 60-point, 20-rebound triple-double. Never happened, baby. How's it feel right now?
I'm tired as hell. I need to recover the beer.
But after Luka told us what he was gonna be slurping on, he was damn near getting slurped on all over social media. NBA players, NBA legends, Mr. Twitter finger himself, Kevin Durant, everybody was talking about this. Even analysts wanted to get in on the action.
If I had 1,000 tongues, I couldn't say how impressive this was enough. Because we had never seen anything like it before.
But whether dude was trying to tongue Luka or not, that 60-point, 21-rebound, 10-assist stat line had never been done in NBA history. And Luka carrying his team to a 9-point comeback in the final seconds? Like this man said, NBA teams were 0 and 13,884 ever in that situation. So Luka pulled off a miracle. But wait a second, look at Luka's jersey. Haven't you ever wondered why he wears one of the ugliest numbers in NBA history? Well, it's all because of what Luka was doing with grown men as a teenager. See, Luka wasn't the typical kid. He started hooping as soon as he could walk and loved the game way more than people his age. There's a reason Luka had an entire room of his family's crib dedicated to his trophies. He was so good that he couldn't stop playing basketball.
So he said, "Mom, please call coaches if I can go to another practice with some other group." But even 2 practices a day, it was not enough for him.
Because Luka wanted to play more basketball than the other kids, he was eventually forced to play against people older, faster, and bigger. So the only way he could beat them was learning how with his brain. But ironically, there was someone special that Luka kept his eyes on for inspiration. A legendary EuroLeague player who had a similar play style as him, Vasilis Spanolis. Just take a look at how Vasilis plays, and you can easily see why Luka fell in love. The man had a nasty mid-range game. He shot deep threes, and he'd always make the right play for his teammates. So not only did his game begin rubbing off on how Luka played, what Vasilis wore inspired Luka to eventually change his jersey number from 18 to 7. And once Luka began rocking that number, he took his game to a new level. Luka instantly got signed to play pro basketball as a teenager. He started having the best games of his career, even dropping a 54-point triple-double. Luka won his squad a championship. And hell, he'd even do wild shit while his family watched.
With the lay-in, and Luka Doncic with the full corner on the buzzer.
Luka was becoming so unstoppable, even his idol was impressed. So eventually in 2018, not only did Luka's dreams become reality, once he got drafted,
the Atlanta Hawks select Luka Doncic from Ljubljana, Slovenia.
Well, actually, minutes later when he got traded, he had to choose the jersey number that helped him get here in the first place. But alright, enough about sevens. We're about to get into the top 3 craziest stories of Luka's life. And there's not many things crazier than Luka suing his own mom? The situation began during his rookie season. Luka was now playing against the best players in the world, so all he wanted to do was focus on basketball. That's why he put full trust in his mom, Miriam, to become his manager, which led her to getting consent from Luka to create and own the trademark for his brand, Luka Doncic 7. But doing that gave her full control over anything that was put onto. And eventually, that type of power got to her head. As Luka became more of a star, brands wanted to partner with him, but his mom wasn't letting it happen. So Luka started doing everything he could, writing negotiation attempts to transfer control of his brand name, and he even filed a petition to completely cancel the trademark. So that's when the legal battle became public, making its way all over the news and of course social media. But fans didn't even know who Luka's mom was until now. So once tweets like this came out, they just took it as an opportunity to shoot their shot, asking if Luka needed a stepdad, saying his mom could get it, and even claimed Luka's mom is a f***ing MILF. And while the horniness was off the charts, Luka was dealing with a serious legal battle. He'd just signed a $100 million deal with Jordan and wanted to accomplish his dream of having his own signature shoes. Problem was, this trademark issue had him confused about what logo to choose. So he rebranded by creating an entirely new logo. He combined his initials LD, his jersey number 77, and also an S for Slovenia, then put that on his shoes. And after getting this new logo approved, Luka then tried getting Luka Doncic 77 trademark. But once again, he was denied, just because it was too close to his mom's Luka Doncic 7 and would cause customer confusion. At this point, the situation was getting ridiculous, and Luka knew it. So eventually reports came out that he took his own mom to court, planning to sue her until she finally gave up the trademark. So yeah, look at Luka, man, dominating people in real court and on the basketball court. But none of his NBA accomplishments compare to how he got his own holiday. Ever since Luka moved to Dallas, Texas, his legendary basketball skills kinda covered up the greatness he's done for his community. Whether it was when COVID swarmed the city and Luka donated $500,000 to healthcare workers who risked their lives fighting the virus, or the time the craziest winter storm of all time froze the entire state and made 30 million people lose power, so Luka teamed up with Mark Cuban to donate $1.2 million to families who were stuck at home with no heat or electricity. Even on Christmas, Luka's always thinking about others. He gifted his teammates Segways, Nerf guns, and he also surprised an entire children's hospital with brand new Jordans, as well as gave them all a message to stay strong. Luka's out here changing lives. That's why his help in the community has him being nominated for awards. He made Mark Cuban admit he'd rather divorce his own wife than let Luka leave Dallas. So the city just had to do something crazy. And they announced that because of everything Luka's done, he deserved an entire day every year to celebrate his life. And now in Dallas, July 6th is officially declared Luka Doncic Day. Now that's crazy. But as much as Luka's done for other people, if it weren't for Kobe Bryant's secret advice, Luka wouldn't even be here today. Luka's always been a fan of Kobe.
And I know Kobe since, I watched him a lot. He was just amazing, LeBron was always my favorite, but I always watched Kobe, he was a beast.
That's why right after Luka got drafted, Kobe personally sent him a signed game-worn jersey, but he also gave him a warning.
And one advice he gave me was like, watch out, they're going to come after you because, you're from Europe. They're going to try and go after you. And it was true.
And this let Luka know he had potential to become a star, only if he put the work in. So he stayed in touch with Kobe, worked out with him, and you could even tell Kobe's game was rubbing off on him. Where else would Luka have learned to do fadeaways like this or one-legged three-pointers? So Kobe was secretly proud of what Luka was accomplishing, but he eventually made things public. Kobe knew that on December 29th, his hometown Lakers were matching up with the Mavericks, and Luka was gonna be in town. So not only did Kobe show up courtside, this happened.
So Doncic, a fan is heckling him and he looks to see who it is, and it's Kobe Bryant.
He brought his daughter here to see you, and he talked a little trash to you. I understand he was actually talking in Slovenian, is that right?
Yeah.
What did he say?
I can't say that. I can't say that.
Too many curse words or what?
It was like, somebody was talking Slovenian, and I turned around and I was like, I saw Kobe. I was like, what is going on? I was surprised, I was shocked.
How's his accent?
Great.
Yes?
Yeah.
Only Kobe would learn an entirely new language just to talk to one man. He knew Luka was a special player, and that's why after the game, even Kobe's daughter wanted to pick with him. But little did Luka know, this was the last time they'd ever see each other.
Breaking news in this Sunday afternoon, five-time NBA champion, former league MVP Kobe Bryant died earlier this afternoon in Los Angeles in a helicopter crash.
The NBA world was devastated, but especially Luka. Not only did he tweet out that this can't be true, and also the pic he took with Kobe's daughter, Gigi, he made this very last moment he shared with them his Twitter profile header. But just doing that wasn't enough to honor them. At Luka's very next game, cameras caught him lacing up Kobe's shoes that also had the names of every victim involved in the crash. And Luka wore those shoes all night long while he dominated. He even started his very next game with an 8-second violation to commemorate Kobe's jersey number, 8. But no matter what Luka was doing on the court or how off he was going, you could tell he was hurting during post-game interviews where he was so emotional he couldn't even look at the camera.
I broke down after the first quarter. That's when it really hit me. It was really hard to play today for me.
Now, it didn't take long, but eventually Luka realized Kobe wouldn't want him to be sad forever. He'd want Luka training, practicing, and eventually making NBA history to become one of the GOATs just like Kobe predicted he could be. So Luka got to work, and not only has he become one of the biggest stars in basketball, everything he's doing is for Kobe.
Doncic pulls up, three-pointer. Bryant dribbling, has to put it up at the buzzer. Bang! Bang! He banks in the three! It's good! Doncic wins the game at the buzzer!
Nikola Jokic is more than MVPs, championships, and crazy plays.
Jokic for the win! Oh! It's good!
He's got addictions. His jersey number turned into a $100 million scandal, and there was even a time that he almost died from a nuclear explosion. Yeah, obviously there's a lot of things you didn't know about Jokic. But first, we have to talk about what got him famous, setting basketball records that'll never be broken. His first unbreakable record happened during an NBA game where bucket after bucket, rebound after rebound,
Jokic the rebound, up and in, Jokic.
and some sexy passes led Jokic to having a ridiculous stat line. Before the first half was even close to finished, Jokic already had 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. So now being only an assist away from a triple-double, history was about to be made.
Wide open is Chandler. Oh, Chandler double clutched it. Doesn't matter! He's got it. 16, 10, and 10 for Jokic.
Jokic only played 14 minutes and 33 seconds of the game, so that became the fastest triple-double in NBA history. Because fast triple-doubles have been done before, we gotta talk about Jokic's second unbreakable record. That's something not even a GOAT could do. Jokic did something during the 2023 playoffs that'll never happen again. because he was doing more on both sides of the floor than any player I'd ever seen. Things started when he dominated the Timberwolves in the first round.
So much in this series. Look at Jokic. Magnificent. It's Jokic, then a little hesitation, puts it in, and he's fouled.
Then, he continued with him making enough plays to easily take out the Suns.
Just kept the ball, never panicked, because how many field goals he has in the game. What a pass by Jokic.
But once he obliterated my sunshine, the Lakers, by eventually sweeping them,
Falling away, puts it up. Bang! Nikola Jokic!
Jokic set himself up to do the impossible. Because he was already topping every single player the entire playoffs in rebounds and assists, if Jokic also scored more points than every player, he'd become the first in NBA history to lead an entire playoffs in all three categories. Problem was that he was still behind Jimmy Butler, and they were about to face off in the NBA Finals. This battle was about to be for more than just a championship. So Jokic kept scoring while Jimmy kept breaking shots. Then with just a game left in the series, Jokic had a 1-point lead, so all he had to do was outscore Jimmy a final time. But as the game went on, even though Jokic was hitting shot after shot after shot, Jimmy made things interesting by running the score up himself.
Martin to Butler. Corner three, nails it. Look at Bedlam. Butler nails another.
Eventually, though, not only did Jokic do enough to win the game and secure the championship and MVP, he finished the game with 28 points, while Jimmy only scored 21, so it was official. Jokic's impossible record went viral.
I mean, he led all players in points, rebounds, and assists for an entire playoff. I've never seen anything as skilled offensively as a big like Nikola Jokic, Skip.
But what's crazy is, records like that are only possible because of his insane diet. I bet you didn't know that compared to the average person, Jokic eats 7 times more food.
Can't go munch. Either he ate it for lunch.
Yeah, Jokic has always been a munch. That's why when Jokic was young, he already looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy. All jokes aside though, he was already drinking an unhealthy amount of Coca-Cola. Not only did Jokic admit that it was glass after glass and he couldn't stop, doctors warned him that he was at risk of diabetes, needing dentures, and a bunch of other health issues when he became an adult, so he gave it up.
I did hear that before you came to the NBA, you used to drink a gallon of Coca-Cola a day?
Yeah. And I love it. I drink the last Coke, my first summer league, on the airplane coming to America, and I remember it.
But after Jokic kicked the cup, unhealthy food became an even bigger deal in Jokic's life. Not only was the man drafted to the NBA during a Taco Bell commercial,
2 things you only dreamed would come together.
dude would literally eat popcorn at practice, and as time went on, his diet and weight only got crazier. Nowadays, Jokic is a monstrous 7 feet tall, weighing, how many pounds?
300.
And you don't get that big eating salads, man. Breakfast is where Jokic eats more calories in a single meal than the average human eats in a full day. Because while it's known that most people eat 2,300 calories, Jokic's first meal of the day alone is over 5,000.
5 egg scramble and bacon, cheese, spinach. Don't make it runny, don't make it really hard. Oatmeal, pecans, almonds, blueberries, honey. You got it? Then shake all the berries, banana, and a little bit of apple juice. 5,000 calories right there.
And that's definitely a lot of food, but Jokic is an eater, man. But even though food is something Jokic loves, it's also what led to a basketball game where he suffered such a scary injury. It changed his life forever. Nobody expected a moment like what was about to happen to eventually have a happy ending.
To make him go away. Jokic around everybody. And Jokic is down.
Because the injury had Jokic heading to the locker room, and not long after, X-rays revealed that he had a severe ankle sprain, which was gonna sideline him for 7 games. But even when Jokic returned, he was never fully recovered. Just taking normal jump shots with both feet still had his ankle feeling extreme pain. So before Jokic fell off, he had to figure out a solution. And ironically, that helped him create a new move.
I twisted my left ankle and I just was shooting upstairs in a practice facility. It was kind of a little bit painful to jump with both legs, and I kind of started jumping with the right leg. And the ball was going in. I said, maybe I can use this, and it's working since then.
Now, alright, Jokic kind of played it off like the move was no big deal, but the man started whipping it out on everyone.
Jokic 28 points tonight, and the basket is good and a foul.
George switches on to Jokic. Fadeaway jumper, good.
Shoot. Jokic will turn at the base, high arc. Yeah! Oh my God! Now Jokic is going to Sombor shuffle. Got it! 8 assists, couple of steals. Now Jokic against Len. Sombor shuffle is good. Against Steven Adams, who's back in. Sombor shuffle. Got it! For all of our fans watching over in Sombor, Serbia, Jokic converts.
And after that, there's a reason the announcer shouted out Jokic's hometown of Sombor. His move literally got nicknamed the Sombor Shuffle. It became so iconic that it became his go-to move to hit clutch shots.
Nuggets down by 1. Shot clock's at 3. Jokic. Sombor shuffle is good!
Jokic eventually told reporters that he'd use it when he played horse. And because the move became so unstoppable, even NBA legends were impressed.
He hit a couple of those right foot joints that he shoot on me, like frustrating as hell. You feel like you've done everything you could possibly do to make him take a bad shot, and it hit nothing but the bottom of the net.
And even when you guard him for one of the best possessions that you think you've guarded him, he puts the ball behind his head, Larry Bird style, and shoots it 50 feet in the air, and it goes in. I think he did it like 4 or 5 times this series. You do like this to him.
But alright, man. Speaking of what Jokic does in games, I bet you didn't know that Jokic has an addiction to video games. I swear that whenever Jokic ain't watching HitFlix, yeah, even Jokic is a fan, so why aren't you? Subscribe. Anyways, Jokic is spending all the rest of his time gaming.
Are you a video game player?
Yes.
What is your game of choice?
Right now I'm playing on the computer. PC I'm playing League of Legends, but I like 2K, FIFA, Call of Duty, whatever.
And he's even brought games into the real world by wearing video game t-shirts and playing CSGO with other NBA players. But Jokic's favorite game is League of Legends. He's a huge f***ing nerd for this. So not only does he wear League of Legends merch and is always talking about the game.
League of Legends, and are you top, bottom, or mid lane?
Good job, I'm a top, and I'm playing who I'm playing right now. Urgot, Lauri, I'm gonna say those 2.
Eventually his teammates caught him playing the game during halftime of an NBA game.
We in the locker room, we winning, it's halftime though. Joker come in, grab his phone, put his feet up like this. I'm like, yo, Joe, what you see out there? Brother, I'm just having fun. He on his phone playing a game before the coach come back in. And he got 29 and 10 at half just doing this. Brother, this, if you open, shoot it, Tay. Like, he's different, man.
But as much as Jokic might be in the virtual world, in real life, there was a time Jokic almost got killed by a nuclear explosion. That happened before Jokic became the basketball god we know him as today. Here in Serbia is where Jokic was growing up. He was just an innocent basketball fan dreaming of one day accomplishing his goals. But things were about to turn deadly behind the scenes because of his country's president. Stories came out that he was causing a war within his own country, killing his own innocent citizens. And the tragic news had leaders of other countries threatening him with violence if things continue.
If President Milosevic will not make peace, we will limit his ability to make war.
But threats like those didn't stop the president. So countries joined together, put a plan into action, and out of nowhere, they hit Jokic's country with deadly attacks.
On March 24, 1999, Western nations carried out their threat against Serbia and began the biggest military conflict on Serbian soil since World War II.
Planes flew over, dropping bomb after bomb, until it seemed like there was almost nothing left. Jokic's country lost power, water, and everybody was forced into underground bunkers for months. All Jokic ever said about the experience was, I remember things like sirens, bomb shelters, always turning off the lights. We practically lived in the dark. Even at like 9 a.m., everything was turned off. What unfolded was the most destruction a country suffered since World War II. The damage cost Serbia over $50 billion, which not only ruined their economy, it also left over 5,000 people killed. Luckily though, Jokic and his family were some of the survivors, so he was able to grow up and continue chasing his dreams. But ironically, playing basketball the way he did is what got him an embarrassing nickname that completely took over his life. Now, alright, I'm not talking about what people started calling him just because they couldn't pronounce his last name of Jokic.
Nikola Jokic.
At first, a lot of people thought it would be easier to just call him Joker, like the popular character from Batman movies. But Jokic also has another nickname that he tries to keep quiet. The first time I heard it out loud was when the legendary Shaq said it.
What do you prefer, Joker or Big Honey?
I like Big Honey.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Joker, yeah.
And Big Honey was made up cause, you know, Jokic is big. No, did he? And also cause his basketball is slow and sweet.
Just gets it off in time, it's up. Oh, it's good!
Just like Honey. One of his teammates, Will Barton, was the one who started calling him it.
There's a real story behind Big Honey. There's a real story. Hey, Big Honey, come on, switch it up. Stop. Big Honey, no.
Oh, yeah, you should have told us that one.
No, but he made me nervous, man. I'm sweating right now because that Big Honey. He's killing me.
Well, that's
Big
all
Honey.
we're going to call you from this point on.
And after that situation went viral, fans not only made him Big Honey merch or turned him into the Honey Nut Cheerios mascot, every chance Shaq got, he kept calling him Big Honey.
Joker Shaq here, just want to say Shiana Igra Velika Dusho. You had a great game, Big Honey, in your language, in case you didn't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Love you too, brother.
Oh, my God. Thanks a lot for joining us, and you passed Wilt Chamberlain tonight, most triple doubles by a center. Congrats on that one too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
there you go.
Where is
Wow.
Shaq in that? Is it Shaq in that list? No, because I never passed, Big Honey.
So cause the name was catching on, even one of Jokic's teammates' mom started calling him that.
I mean, my mom, she a coach, so she always would text me like, y'all need to help Nikola do everything, like help big fella. She called it, yeah, Big Honey. She loved calling him Big Honey.
Now, alright man, the nickname was something Jokic's teammate was definitely laughing at, but maybe that's why Jokic trolls all of his teammates with his favorite music, while most NBA players get hyped in the locker room with my type of bangers. And some players even rap themselves.
When you focus, man, you look up and your money is fine. I'm from a city where your friend will put a gun in your mind.
Got this light skin, she bad, put her on a flight. She said you only want to hit, I said, damn, girl, you right.
Dodging no pics from the cameras. Shitting since I was in Pampers, bruh. I'm in Shanghai speaking Mandarin. I got the pack like I'm Anderson.
You'd expect Jokic being around that type of music would have him bumping it too. But not only has he admitted that he literally can't listen to American music, he actually gets hyped to this. Now, alright, I ain't gonna act like I ain't dancing to that right now, but Serbian music, especially his favorite that has accordions, is something Jokic might love, but all of his teammates hate it. Jokic really hijacked the aux just so that he could have the gym to himself. You gotta respect it. But Jokic isn't always doing things alone, and I bet you never heard about the secret ritual he does with his wife before every game. What Jokic does on the court is kinda inspired by his love story. Jokic met his girl Natalia before the money or fame in high school, and it was love at first sight. So cause they stayed together and his girl stuck with him through everything, once Jokic got into the NBA and started making millions, of course he put a ring on it. Once they were seen at their wedding dancing, and pictures confirmed that they were officially husband and wife, Jokic's basketball ritual began where every game, he'd attach his wedding ring to his shoes.
I know your ritual of your wedding ring in your shoe, but when did that start?
When I get married, take it off the finger. It's a left shoe. I have a wedding ring on my shoe just because it's family that is really important to me and they always by my side. So I just want to give them the love. To have my family always by my side and they always protect me, and that's something that it's mine. Nobody can take away from me.
And if you look at Jokic's shoes closely, every single game, not only is the wedding ring there, ever since he started doing that, it's ironically what turned him into a better basketball player than ever. But not everything Jokic wears during games is such a good thing, because Jokic's jersey number not only turned into a multi-million-dollar scandal, it's got him beefing with an NBA legend.
He is the worst MVP winner in the last 40 years.
Now, don't get me wrong, man. Jokic wasn't necessarily looking for trouble, but because his jersey number could lose Carmelo Anthony millions of dollars, of course dude felt some type of way about what dude did. It's all cause Melo's legacy with the Denver Nuggets was something nobody ever thought could be erased. I mean, once Melo got drafted to their team with a top pick, he instantly changed their culture by taking them from one of the worst teams in the league to one of the best. and he became one of the deadliest scorers the league had ever seen.
That's good.
All while wearing the number 15. This jersey number became iconic in Nuggets history, because, well, Melo was one of their best players ever while wearing it. But even though fans expected his jersey number to eventually be retired so that nobody could wear it again, for some weird reason, the number never officially went off limits. At the same time, Jokic was also coming up in basketball, and he always wore the number 15 as a teenager. So when he eventually made the NBA and joined the Nuggets, of course he wanted to wear his favorite number, so they let him. Now, Melo was definitely salty about that, and he proved it when he played dirty the first time he saw Jokic.
Here's Rivers out front, and Jokic hits the deck.
But hitting Jokic from the back was not enough. After Melo played a game against them in Denver, he was saying that the number should be retired.
Have you ever thought about if the Nuggets were to retire?
This is where it should be retired, to be honest with you. Just my opinion. I don't know. Just because you play here. It's my opinion, man. I think that the history is here. Maybe not. Joker's got 15 now. So. We'll see, man. We still got time for that.
But admitting he felt like his number should be off limits and kind of joking about it wasn't the end. Things turned personal when Jokic started accomplishing incredible things with the Nuggets. He passed Melo on the Nuggets' all-time scoring list, and he was even able to win a championship. Jokic was doing things that Melo could never do. So even Melo's old coach trolled Melo when he tweeted at Jokic saying, "Happy B-Day to the greatest player to wear number 15 in Denver Hoops history." Now after that, Melo was really feeling the disrespect. So he exposed how he really felt about the jersey number.
Did you feel a way when they gave Jokic that 15, bro? Because that's Melo.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Did you think it was a petty maneuver?
Yeah, it was a petty maneuver. It wasn't like, oh, we got numbers to choose from. It was like, here,
take this one.
You got 15. Like,
ooh.
Why you keep Jokic? Now I'm gone now, so now I'm 7 now. Like 7 is the new thing. What's going on? Like 15. So now just start thinking, oh, this is because this is the narrative that they put out there. He wanted to leave, he wanted to do this. But why would you disrespect by even offering that?
And after Melo said all of that, the situation went viral all over the news, so even sports legends criticized him hard.
Melo, you do realize this guy was a second round European player that when he got drafted, they was in the middle of a Taco Bell commercial. Who thought Nikola Jokic was going to arguably be one of a top 10 player when it's all said and done? Because they thought that they took him number 1 overall. Exactly. The guy was in the second round. And plus, Melo, you forget, and nobody's going to remember you wore 15. I'm sorry, Melo, but nobody's going to remember you wore 15. But you're a Knicks player. Your career is New York Knicks. Your jersey is in the rafters in the Garden.
But, all right, what did Jokic himself have to say about the jersey number controversy?
When did you start wearing 15 and how did you choose that number?
I think I'm using it in my whole life. In my hometown, I was wearing 15.
Were you aware Jamal wore 15 before you came here? Did you even know?
Of course. I mean, he was a great player.
Yeah, Jokic ain't really trying to beef with anybody, to be honest. Regardless, all because he's pretty much covering up Melo's entire Nuggets legacy. Denver fans will most likely never buy Melo's number 15 jersey again, losing him millions of dollars. But controversies that expensive are the opposite of what Jokic gets involved in. Usually he's doing sentimental things, like when he gave his biggest fan the best day of their life. This is Suza Kokatovic, and as you can see, she's always supporting the Nuggets, especially your favorite player, Jokic. But it wasn't always smiles and laughs when it came to Suza.
So when Suza was born, it was a joyful time, our first kid, and then as the time went by, we noticed some delays. And when Suza turned 4, she started half-day kindergarten, and that's when the teachers raised the question, and that's when it got real.
You know, it's our first kid, so we're thinking like she's going in to learn how to share and color and, you know, make friends and all this stuff. So we had really high expectations and it did not turn out that way. And I remember going into this meeting and them telling us, you know, we knew there was something wrong, but we weren't expecting these type of results, and she'll make great strides in life, but she'll never be like the other kids. And that was heartbreaking to hear. She was diagnosed with developmental delay, which is a very broad diagnosis.
Because of a brain issue that slowed down her ability to learn and caused problems with her speech, her disability held her back from being a normal kid. But what really made her feel like life would be okay was her love for sports and Jokic. Little did she know though, her biggest dream was about to become a reality. Souza was selected as part of a Special Olympics program to hang out at the Nuggets arena for a day. She also got to take shots on the court and even got tickets to the game where she got to watch Jokic dominate up close.
Well, and he wants to help each other out. Minnesota's team likes to drive hard for post position, level of physicality.
Jokic in the paint, counted and one.
But after the win, things were about to get more special when Jokic came out to surprise her. They not only talked and took plenty of pics, he sent her home with a signed jersey, so it was definitely the best night of her life. Man, Jokic is honestly more than a basketball player. He's a hero. Stephen Curry's an NBA legend, but there's still so much you don't know about it. Addictions, nearly killing an NBA player, helping an inmate escape jail. Here's 10 things you didn't know about Stephen Curry. And first, let's talk about the time he ruined the NBA. Once Steph won his first MVP and championship, the only thing he had left to chase was legendary status. So this man came out the next year, having one of the greatest seasons in NBA history. And you'd think that'd be a good thing, but it turned out he actually ruined NBA 2K? See, the game's developers have been creating a formula that rewarded players for good shot selection and punished players for bad shot selection. In-game, contested and extremely long-range shots were nearly impossible to make. But in real life, Steph was not only taking those shots, he was making those shots. So 2K's engineers didn't know what to do. Cause Steph was so broken, he was basically a cheat code.
How are we going to put this guy that shot 47% from the three-point line into this game without breaking the game?
I remember
And then,
that was Steph was a cheat code that year.
Kids want to duplicate it, so they're my career players. They all wanted to build Steph, and like that, it was kind of breaking that online experience of being able to play.
So to balance Steph among all the other players, 2K's developers had to completely re-engineer the game just so Steph wasn't overpowered. Yeah, Steph became so unstoppable in real life, it literally changed the game. But at least he only ruined a game. What if I told you Steph has a disease that could ruin his life? See, Steph was well on his way to becoming the greatest shooter ever. Throughout his career, he made three-pointers 43% of the time until his shot hit an unusual decline. Out of nowhere, Steph went on his worst shooting slump ever. His shot dropped down to 36%. But regardless, he was still voted into the All-Star game. Till at the event, in front of the entire world, Steph had one of the worst shooting games of his career. Now, instead of his typical 43%, he was only shooting 23%. So he practiced and practiced, but nothing was working. Something was wrong, and Steph knew it. So he did the only thing he could think of, visit the doctor. But that's when Steph found out some devastating news. Low-key, he was suffering from an eye disease causing blurred vision, and Steph's eyesight was declining quickly. So as soon as the world found out, he was asked about it during interviews.
Steph, can you kind of describe the condition that was going on with your eye disease?
It's a tough situation every day waking up.
But luckily, doctors had a possible solution. Special contacts. And what happened when Steph put them in?
Here comes Curry. Curry for three.
Yeah, his three-point shooting reached a career high, 51%. And Steph publicly gave all the credit to his new contacts. But behind the scenes, he's secretly been getting fined by his mom? Yeah. When Steph came into the NBA, he was already a solid shooter, playmaker, and defender. But one part of his game was so bad, he needed help from his mom. So they put together a little agreement, forcing him to fix his problem. And if he didn't, it was gonna cost him millions. At the time, Steph was averaging over 3 turnovers per game. So they agreed that if Steph had more than 3 in a game, he had to pay his mom $100 for every turnover. Now at first, he was only throwing her a couple hundred, but eventually, it turned into thousands. And by the end of the season, Steph gave the ball away so much, he paid his mom over $7,000. So even though he put so much money on the line, Steph was never able to get over his turnover habit and kept averaging 3 turnovers a game. But recently, reporters found out about Steph's bet.
Do you still pay your mom for those turnovers?
Yeah, the check stopped cashing a couple years ago. She still calls it out for sure.
Damn, with all the money Steph gave his mom, she still couldn't even afford one of his game-worn mouth guards. I mean, one literally sold for $25,000. But if they're worth that much, haven't you ever wondered why every single game, Steph purposely ruins them? Well, it all started when Steph was in college playing for Davidson. In one game, he suffered a devastating injury.
I got elbowed in college my junior year and kind of busted my lip open.
Ever since, he hasn't played a single game without a mouth guard, but the way he chews on it created controversy. Steph admitted that he wears the same mouth guard for 6 games straight, only 12 different ones per season, and dentists around the globe were pissed. One dentist said Steph chewing up his mouth guard was a bad influence on kids, because not only was he making it cool to purposely damage his mouth guard, him constantly touching it was putting bacteria in his mouth. Now, for years, we've seen Steph's mouth guard chewing as an iconic ritual. But recently, before Steph even had the chance to admit the real reason why he chews on his mouth guards, ESPN dropped a stat proving their own theory. Apparently, Steph's free throw shooting is deeply affected by him chewing his mouth guards. In 2014, while keeping his mouth guard in place, he shot 89% from the line. But over the next 2 seasons, while chewing on his mouth guard, he shot 92%, a 3% increase. So because his shot improved, Steph chews on mouth guards every time he steps up. And ever since, he hasn't gone a single season without shooting over 90%. How is that even possible? Well, Steph talked about his real reason, and it got his ass roasted.
I just chew on it like crazy. It kind of calms me down, especially when I'm at the free throw line. So I kind of get in my rhythm.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe did you wear it when you played golf with the president?
No.
Maybe you wouldn't have triple bogeyed the 18th, you know? Maybe next time.
But at least that joke didn't almost kill somebody, like the time Steph put an NBA player in the hospital. The 2015 NBA Finals quickly turned into chaos. The Cavaliers came out with a game plan, believing they had Steph's kryptonite. And in Game 2, all cause of one player, Steph had one of the worst games of his career. Not only did he shoot 5 for 23, 18 misses from 3, this man shot 2 for 15, and he had more turnovers than assists. In Steph's biggest game, he choked that bad? How is that even possible? Well, the very next day, ESPN put Steph on blast, all thanks to Matthew Dellavedova.
If Steph Curry had the ball and Dellavedova's in his face, it's going to be a problem.
Throughout the first 2 games, fans felt like Steph was getting clamped. I mean, I couldn't even open Twitter without seeing the stats. But we all know how much Steph loves social media, so he instantly needed revenge. Steph came out for Game 3 on fire. Shot after shot, he couldn't be stopped. But even though he hit 7 threes and dropped 27 points, Dellavedova was there the whole way, having his best game. Diving on loose balls and tightly guarding Steph. Not only did Dellavedova drop his own 20-point game, this man was playing his heart out, literally. Until it turned out Steph was so difficult to defend, Dellavedova put his life on the line, and people realized something was up. Cause after the best game of Dellavedova's career, he didn't even show up to the post-game press conference. And that's when everybody found out Dellavedova was rushed to the hospital. Severe cramping and dehydration was just the beginning of what Dellavedova was diagnosed with. And not only were doctors concerned, Dellavedova's own teammate admitted that Steph almost killed him.
He competed harder than anybody I've ever seen in my life, bro. He was literally about to die in the playoffs. Like, literally, bro. We in the back after the game, like, Steph almost killed this man.
Now, what did Steph have to say about this situation? Well, he just let his game do the talking. Because for the rest of the series, Steph cooked Dellavedova and the Cavs, averaging over 26 points a game. And not only did Steph carry the Warriors to 3 straight wins and secure the championship, the world found out that he's been stealing kids' moves? See, over the years, Steph's dribble moves have gone viral. Like the time he made Chris Paul play Twister, got Rudy Gobert dizzy, and literally made Marc Gasol give up. But if you think Steph came up with those moves, you're wrong. Cause Steph's stealing moves from children? Yeah, when Steph hosted one of his Curry Select camps, a high schooler pulled a move that even Steph was hyped about. That player was Dennis Smith Jr., and at first, nobody knew him or the move until shortly after, cause Steph pulled up to a Team USA practice and embarrassed a trainer with it. Now of course, an NBA player humiliating someone like this? The video instantly went viral, racking up nearly 10 million views, and Dennis Smith Jr. definitely noticed, cause he immediately tweeted about it, admitting he's the one who put Steph onto the move. Steph was caught red-handed. But hey, just 30 minutes later, at least he admitted it, saying, yup, always a student of the game. Now, at least Dennis Smith was in high school, but that ain't the only move Steph stole, cause recently, he's been studying 10-year-olds. Yeah. During a Ball is Life camp, a 10-year-old went ballistic. And once Steph witnessed a kid a third of his age moving like that, Steph just had to hop on Instagram and admit what was coming, saying, yup, I just learned 2 new moves. Damn, Steph's really been in the NBA longer than that kid's been alive, and he's still learning. That's crazy, but not as crazy as Steph's secret bet that won him a championship. During the 2016 NBA Finals, Steph's Warriors went up 3-1, and cause Steph was confident they'd close out the series, he bought an expensive cigar for his championship celebration. But that purchase became the biggest regret of his life. For 3 straight games, Steph and the Warriors completely choked, becoming the first team in NBA Finals history to blow a 3-1 lead. And after his historic meltdown, Steph felt he didn't even deserve to smoke. But instead of just trashing the cigar, he gave it to his best friend and told him to keep it for his next championship win. And well, Steph must have been fiending, cause that summer, not only did he force the Warriors to form an absolute super team, the very next year in the 2017 finals, Steph had his greatest championship performance so far to win his 2nd ring. And well, I don't know what dude was happier about. The fact that he became a 2-time champion, or could finally smoke, cause he was so excited, he instantly grabbed the cigar and smoked it on live TV.
Now that looks delicious, by the way, Steph.
Damn, Steph, you're really giving Clay flashbacks. But see, smoking cigars, I mean, that ain't even close to Steph's darkest secrets. Low-key, he has an addiction. And the world found out during one of the biggest games of his career. Steph and the Warriors were up 3-2, ready to close out the series. But this man went the entire first half, missing every single one of his shots. So as Steph headed back to the locker room, he knew there was only one thing he could do. Steph couldn't resist his urge. He needed his fix. And when Steph came back out, he turned into a monster. Steph came out in the second half on fire. And in the fourth, he not only dropped 23 points, he went 8 for 8 from the line and hit the dagger 3 to close out the series. But what really went down at halftime? Well, the truth is, Steph just had to watch HitFlix? Yeah, even Steph's a fan. So why aren't you? Subscribe. But for real, he also just had to hop on Twitter, cause whenever he's having a bad game, he needs fuel from his haters. And when he was asked why he does it, all he could say was,
It's pure entertainment for me.
But see, Steph has more than just a sick mind. He's literally helping inmates escape jail. Recently, Steph researched a case making headlines involving a man named Julius Jones. Julius had been in prison for nearly 2 decades, and this case stood out to Steph because he saw Julius claim he was framed for a crime he didn't commit. And what Steph found out next kept him up at night. Wednesday, 9:47 p.m., the night of the murder. One family pulled up and noticed a carjacking by a man in a red bandana. But right when the man saw them, he opened fire and fled the scene. The family's dad, Paul was bleeding out and eventually passed away. So, detectives opened an all-out investigation and promised the family that justice would be served. They gathered all the evidence they could and eventually tracked down the weapon, which was wrapped in a red bandana, and they found it inside Julius's home, and he was arrested. At trial, Julius and his family claimed it was impossible for him to be the murderer, that Julius was home with them that night, and he didn't match the description of the killer. But it didn't matter what they claimed. He was found guilty of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit robbery, and was sentenced to 30 years in prison. But that ain't even the worst of it all. Steph heard that Julius was also sentenced to execution, and Steph felt there was no way he could live with himself if he didn't at least try to help. Steph found a way to call Julius to find out the truth, and once Steph heard his side of the story, Steph told him he'd stay on board and fight for him. And instantly after, Steph publicly posted his support.
And I stand with Julius, the whole family. I pray that justice is served for our brother.
Steph went as far as getting all of his Warriors teammates to meet Julius's family, but nothing was more important than what Steph did next, because he raised so much awareness towards the case. People all over the world began showing their own support. Now, everybody was wondering why Steph was so passionate about this one case, and well,
it's just the right thing to do. It's an important opportunity to change, someone's life that deserves an opportunity to be free. And
now, you'd think with Steph being an NBA player, he'd only have an impact on a basketball court. Not actual court, but on the day that Julius's execution was scheduled, because of all the attention and support that Steph raised, the execution was called off. Steph single-handedly saved this man's life. But to Steph, it's just another day, because secretly, he's also been changing the world. In 2019, Steph realized how blessed he was and didn't want to take his platform for granted. Deep down, Steph not only wanted to give back, he wanted to change lives. And that's why he started the Eat, Learn, Play Foundation. Up to this point, Steph started this with 3 goals in mind. 1, to provide all kids with quality education. 2, create safe places for kids to be active. And 3, end childhood hunger. And well, these goals completely changed Oakland, California. Throughout the area, Steph's foundation collabed with school districts and food banks to improve the lives of low-income families. The foundation's been able to donate 15 million meals to tens of thousands of families. And in addition, Steph's foundation also helped out during the holidays. And as time goes on, he's only donating more. And in my eyes, none of Steph's MVPs or championships top that incredible accomplishment. But you want to know what does? Victor Wembanyama's an 8-foot man who's taken over the NBA, and there's so much you need to know about him. From controversies with the police,
oh my god, I'm scared,
to a secret meaning behind his jersey number. Here's 10 things you didn't know about Victor, starting with the time he predicted his own future. Here in Lachesney, hey, how do I pronounce this?
It's Le Chenet.
Whatever. Here in France is where Victor grew up and started playing basketball because he idolized one of their country's most iconic players, Tony Parker. Not only did Victor become a big enough fan to be seen wearing Tony's Spurs jersey, he wanted to follow in Tony's footsteps by making it to the league and playing for the exact same team. Fast forward 10 years, Victor was balling to accomplish the goal. He became the most hyped young player in the world, so even though every NBA team wanted him, the draft lottery would determine if he'd go where he wanted. As the order got selected, eventually the top pick went to the Spurs.
And that means that the number 1 pick in the 2023 NBA draft goes to the San Antonio Spurs.
So everybody, including Tony Parker himself, claimed that Victor was going to be a Spur, even though the actual draft hadn't happened yet. On June 22nd, 2023, though, it was time to make things official.
Good evening and welcome to the 2023 NBA Draft. Tonight, we usher in the next wave of NBA players.
As it's not hitting me right now, it's gonna hit harder than ever.
With the first pick, the San Antonio Spurs select Victor Wembanyama.
Accomplishing something that I've been dreaming of, my whole life. Hearing that sentence from Adam Silver, I've dreamed of it so much that, I gotta cry, man.
It feels like a full circle, you know? Like, it's funny, like, when the draft came, I was like, it's crazy. When they got the #1 pick, I was like, wow, it was like destiny, you know? I felt like it was meant to be.
Damn. Now all of that is crazy, but not as crazy as Victor's controversy that got the police involved. After the draft took place in Brooklyn, New York, Victor headed to Las Vegas, Nevada for the NBA Summer League. Now, I don't even know how dude lasted hours sitting on a plane like this, but that's besides the point. Once his plane landed and he hopped off the flight, hundreds of fans were already waiting for him. So he made his way through the crowd and eventually traveled to his hotel, the Aria, where even more fans were waiting on him. When he was making his way through the lobby though, a crazy looking fan ran up on him, so she literally got bitch slapped by Victor's security. This wasn't just some random Victor meat rider though. It was celebrity singer Britney Spears. And just taking a look at her, I can see why security wouldn't let her get close. She looks like a homeless crackhead. Regardless, she called the cops and filed a police report, so the Las Vegas Police Department launched an investigation. The situation instantly went viral, so Victor was being asked about it non-stop.
I didn't see what happened because I was walking straight and we told don't stop, but that person grabbed me from behind. Not on my shoulder, she grabbed me from behind, and so I just know that the security pushed her away. I don't know with how much force though, but I didn't stop to look, so I kept walking and enjoyed a nice dinner.
Then after Victor told his side of the story, Britney tried defending herself, until she made the situation even worse by demanding a public apology, because it seemed like she mainly cared about gaining clout from all this. So even though Victor was yelled at about the situation the entire time he was in Vegas,
Victor, do you want to apologize to Britney?
not only did he just ignore the situation, as the police completed their investigation, they announced that no charges will be filed, and they said a surveillance video revealed that Spears actually hit herself in the face after she was pushed away, so she lied about it all. Damn, these thoughts will do anything for Victor's attention, because they probably know he's got the biggest dick in the entire NBA. There's a reason why fans say he's packing. All of Victor's measurements are making NBA history. He stepped into the NBA and instantly became the league's tallest player. Tied for second place are Boban and Kristaps Porzingis, who are both listed at 7'3", and Victor's above them at 7'4", barefoot. Speaking of feet, Victor's shoe size is also one of the biggest in NBA history. Some notable players ahead of him were Shaq, Taco Fall, and Bob Lanier, who all wore a size 22 shoe, but still, Victor's feet are so big, fans don't even say he puts on shoes. They say he wears kayaks because they're a size 20.5. And you know what they say about big feet. Big hands. See, nobody can grip balls like Victor.
Can you palm it with 2 fingers?
The craziest of Victor's measurements, though, are why he looks like Slender Man. Victor's long-ass arms allow him to dunk by barely even jumping. He even showed his POV while hooping. And that's all because of his record-setting wingspan. The second highest in the NBA is a tie at 7'10" by my boys Bo and Mo. Victor topped both of them though, measuring at 8 feet long. And just looking at his length, I already know what else you're wondering about. What the does this dude eat? I'll give you a hint, a lot.
Word on the street is that you eat quite a bit. How many meals a day?
At least 5. I gotta eat whenever I can.
Eating that much isn't surprising for a dude as big as him. Honestly, what surprises me is how he even sits at restaurants. Victor eats a ton of different foods. His favorite food completely took over his life though.
Now going to them, what excites you most and what do you hope to work on this summer?
Breakfast tacos. I heard a lot about breakfast tacos.
After saying that, he was instantly asked what his favorite taco toppings were.
What meat do you use? Beef?
You can put whatever you want on it.
Chicken then, what's the name? The tortilla chicken, some cheese, some sour cream, tell me if I'm wrong, sour cream, and yeah, some pepper, red pepper.
And Spurs fans definitely heard that, because not only did fans wait for him to arrive in San Antonio for the first time and literally show up to the airport just to give him tacos, he got invited to one of the best taco places in the city that made sure he got addicted.
Hello. Hey, how's it going? We eat tacos over here? Can I order some? This is my favorite mural in San Antonio, I'd say. And without a doubt, my new favorite taco spot too.
Fans really got a mural of him eating tacos? I already know a certain other NBA player who's gonna invite him over for Tuesdays.
Taco Tuesday!
Alright, Lataco, can I get back to talking about Victor now? Victor might be the NBA's #1 eater, but I bet you didn't know the secret meaning of why he wears #1 on his jersey. You'd think Victor chose the #1 because in the draft he was the #1 pick. You might even think it's because he got invited to Yankee Stadium to throw out the first pitch. That throw was trash. That's definitely not the reason. See, the number 1 is something Victor wore before the fame. I'm talking about the multiple teams he's played with as a teenager, during an all-star game, and even while playing for France, he chose 32 because, well, 3 minus 2 equals 1, if you didn't know. So when he got drafted to the NBA, within just 1 day, his jerseys were already put into development because there was only one number he was gonna choose. And after the jerseys were made, fans lined up for Miles to be one of the first to be repping his iconic number 1, so Victor's jersey became a top seller. As much as those fans were glazing Victor and his number though, they can't compare to the dude who literally bought a custom Spurs colored Corvette, got Victor's jersey number put on the license plate, and offered to give it to Victor for free just so he'd hang out with him one time.
So apparently you'd like to give it to Wemby in exchange for a hangout sesh.
A what?
I mean, a hangout sesh.
Just look at you, bro. Victor ain't hanging out with you, neither will anybody. The funny part is, I guarantee neither him, that ugly ass thing in the passenger seat, or any of Victor's fans knew the reason why dude even chose number 1. Well, it's all because of a motivation Victor's always told himself.
It's really a mentality, you know, number 1, because for me there's no other option but to be number 1, you know. I can't accept to be behind someone in some way, you know, and not being the best.
But even though Victor's jersey number represents him believing he's better than everyone, and sometimes that can be a recipe for disaster, for now it's working, because it just helped him set a world record in NBA 2K. It's all because millions of fans were anticipating the new 2K to drop just so they could officially use Victor's character. I mean, people were such a fiend, they were creating Victor in the last 2Ks he started being hyped up, and seeing him do things like this made people think he was gonna break the game. Even the face of their company, Ronnie 2K, admitted it.
I mean, he is the freak NBA 2K player, right? A 7'4" guy that can do everything. He's KD with 5 extra inches. He's gonna break our game.
So 2K had a lot to figure out, and they had to fast, because just like they do before every game's release, they planned on revealing players' ratings ahead of time, including Victor's. Keep in mind a couple things though. 1, all they'd seen Victor do up to this point was play in leagues against trash cans,
Wembanyama throwing it down.
a few summer league games against nobodies,
Rim run and the pump.
shoot around at practices, and 2, here's the ratings that some other NBA stars came in as rookies. Steph was a 69 overall, LeBron was a 78, Kevin Durant was an 80, and the highest rated rookie in NBA history was Zion Williamson with an 81 until now.
Here you go. You want to show the people?
I don't know yet. Oh, that's nice. That's all right.
Yeah, you like that?
Right. Yeah.
That's right.
Hold up, an 84? They already made dude a top 50 best player in the entire NBA without him playing a single NBA game? That makes no sense. No wonder why his 2K players always glitching out.
Here's Wembanyama. Oh, misses the dunk.
What the fuck is going on with Wembanyama? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Nah, but for real, dude definitely deserves it, because he's the only player I ever heard of that's been cooking NBA stars since he was a kid. Here's the time Victor was only 16 years old and already 7'3". Next to him was Rudy Gobert, a 7'1" grown-ass man, one of the NBA's best defensive players at the time, who literally made history by winning 3 awards because of it, and even he couldn't stop a young Victor. Man, either Victor was unstoppable or Rudy was ass. No wonder why his team traded him after this. It's just crazy Victor did that when growing up, basketball wasn't even his favorite sport. Dude's got a ton of other hobbies because he's a bit of a renaissance man.
Renaissance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Renaissance man and talent.
I didn't know. Okay.
Anyways, with Victor living in another country for so long, it makes sense why he loves another sport.
What sport are you best at?
I gotta go with football. I mean soccer.
Yeah. Oh, soccer.
You should call it football.
You'd be a great goalie.
Yeah, I mean I was. I used to be.
I could see that. Not baseball?
Now, even though they were laughing at the thought of Victor being coordinated enough to be good at football, he proved his skills with a viral clip, accidentally played the sport during a basketball game.
Yeah, he plays soccer too.
Then during a photo shoot, he showed off his foot game while letting us know one of France's best teams and best players are his favorites.
Who's your favorite player?
Mbappe.
Have you ever met him? You guys have a relationship?
Yeah, I met him once. He's just a French, young, already great player. I think I can look up to him a little bit.
After saying that, Victor and Mbappe kicked it again, and Mbappe even became a fan of him.
Yeah, everybody is supporting
about any of my friends. He's a top talent, a top guy, and I hope he's gonna perform in the NBA.
That's cool, you Ninja Turtle looking ass boy, but Victor's also got hobbies other than playing with balls. Sometimes he likes to disconnect from sports and social media, because people like me can be annoying. Hey yo, Victor, we're making a video about you. Let the HitFlix gang know they need to subscribe.
Mais ouais, ça me touche vraiment.
You heard the man. Subscribe. Other than that though, Victor's a huge admirer of art, so whenever he's traveling through new places, he loves showing up to museums or galleries where he's always admiring giant periods, people's heads on fire, even cocks? I mean, roosters? And whenever he ain't doing that, Victor also loves shopping for books because he's a big reader, especially when it comes to Game of Thrones.
He can't help browsing through a selection of books in between photo shoot setups, specifically Game of Thrones.
I saw the show and I'm reading the book right now.
All right. So Victor's a reader, an eater, and damn near a creature. Now I see why before even stepping on an NBA court, he's gotten more nicknames than anybody in NBA history. There's been a huge dilemma following Victor's career so far, and it's that nobody knows what the f to call this man. We've had Kobe Bryant being called the Black Mamba, James Harden being called the Beard, even Giannis Antetokounmpo's nickname was created when he became the Greek Freak. But the most clever name people came up with for Victor was shortening his last name of Wembanyama to Wemby. That's the weakest, lowest effort nickname of all time. Now, Victor personally liked it enough to change his ads on Instagram and X to it. The fans have stayed so determined to create the perfect nickname for him though, that it's become a trending topic. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith called him the poor man's Kevin Durant because of his length and skills combined with injury concerns. Now, obviously that old head with the fucked up hairline doesn't know what he's talking about because Victor's barely ever gotten a scratch on his body and he hasn't even joined 18 super teams like KD has, so we ain't going with that. There was a time LeBron James was praising Victor though and accidentally gave him a nickname.
We're labeling like this unicorn thing. Everybody's been a unicorn over the last few years, but he's more like an alien.
Now, alright, calling him an alien was definitely wild. I mean, dude does kind of look like an alien though. Either way, this nickname stuck more than the others because not only did a San Antonio coffee spot embrace Victor by making him an exclusive themed drink called the Alien, this nickname became a big enough deal for Nike to offer Victor a $100 million deal and begin marketing him based off the alien concept during commercials. He also posted up in photo shoots advertising Nike Tech Fits while on another planet. And not only did the caption showcase his alien tag that LeBron gave him, Nike also called Victor the extraterrestrial, which if you're a high school dropout like me and don't know big words, it's a hypothetical or fictional being from outer space, especially an intelligent one. Let's be real though, dude ain't from another fucking planet, man. So some other nicknames have been thrown in the mix, like when NBA legend Jalen Rose thought he was onto something.
His name is Victor Wemby. For now, I'm just calling him Blank Check because that's what he's gonna garner real soon.
Now, not only did I have no idea what the hell that man was talking about, I also couldn't take him seriously because he got 81 by Kobe.
Joke for him. He gets it.
None of these nicknames seemed right, so talk shows began just throwing anything out there to see if it would stick.
People have suggested maybe V-Dub or The Dub, but then you have the Warriors. They're the Dubs. You can't have that.
The Wembantula. The Victor Antula.
Well, with VW, how can we not call him the Bug?
Alright, listen man. The only way VW works is if this is the Volkswagen bug he's named after. Not one of these shit stains. At this point though, Victor deserves something special. The man's a future face of the league, and we've never seen so many NBA legends praise someone this early. Victor's not stopping until every NBA star fears him, the whole world recognizes his game, and here's why he's destined to become a basketball GOAT.
Have you gotten a chance to see Victor Wembanyama yet?
Yeah, of course. How can you miss him? That type of talent and skill, and it just puts a smile on your face if you play basketball, you know?
I've never seen this before in my life. He's taller than Rudy Gobert. Wow. He can block shot like Rudy, but shoot like KD.
Oh, Kevin Durant!
He's growing up now watching KD and seeing Steph and seeing Giannis. And instead of him saying, okay, I just don't want, because I'm 7'3" or 7'4", I don't want to just sit in the post. Now I want to get out and work on my handles 3 days a week. And then the other 3 days I want to work all on shooting.
Time playing in Summer League. They blocked Klay Thompson. He just blocked his second, and then look, he's hammered that. Is he just toying us into a turnover and
He has the chance to be one of the best, not in his age or not in Europe, one of the best to ever play this game.
Remember we heard all the hype, the generational talent, LeBron.
Bro, I didn't see it. I saw that shit the other night.
Right now, today, Wemby is one of the top 5 skilled players in the NBA.
Look out! A Christmas Day gift!
If LeBron James, at that exact moment, showed up, Victor would go higher than him.
Man, and that's why Victor's number 1. But what if I told you Anthony Edwards took the NBA by storm?
Edwards! Oh, Edwards!
Edwards gets it.
But he's more than a record-setting basketball player who's already being compared to Michael Jordan.
He like a young 84 Jordan.
Anthony eats the worst diet of any athlete ever.
Probably like 3 a day. Is that 21 bags? Probably more though.
And he's got a car that literally kills people. Those and a lot of other insane things are what you're gonna learn about him. But first, Anthony's secret rap career has him beefing with NBA legends.
Yeah, I'm coming, yo, I'm coming. I'm telling you right now, I'm coming.
They must have been mad that Anthony can really spit.
I walk in the mall and I spend all my money and you know I get it the next day. And I'm never in last, I'm in first place. And I just beat the race like I'm taking cake. And you know that these niggas, they know me. I shoot my shot just like I'm Ginobili.
And him rapping on one of Lil Baby's beats ain't even a surprise, cause they grew up together.
Growing up in Atlanta, pretty dope. Lil Baby and I grew up not too far from each other. He grew up on Spark Street. I grew up on Lockwood Street, so.
But not only did Lil Baby influence Anthony to start teasing his own songs.
I'm all in New York and I'm dunking like Dennis. I'm hitting his hoe with the ratchet like tennis. I'm all in her mouth like a motherfucking dentist. I don't want to and I don't want no feelings. Looking at my life, I really came from the bottom. Now I hit the gas and I'm going for a throttle. I'm with my big huncho. These niggas motherfucking crooks. Niggas be hoes. Yeah, we with the shit, niggas. Yeah, I don't like fans. I don't take no pics. Damn.
Impressing rappers eventually had Anthony change his name to King Ant and drop music.
Yeah, these fiends say they love me, you gotta show me. I got 24 fiends, yeah, just call me Kobe. And they won't flow seeds, put them in a nosebleed. Once I blowed up and got rich, they all notice me.
Now alright, having bars like that already had fans claiming that he was a top 3 rapper of any NBA player. So not only did that get Anthony extra cocky during an interview, when a reporter brought up how he's a rapper, they also asked Anthony if he thought he was like Damian Lillard. But even though that's kinda high praise, seeing as Damian, aka Dame Dollar, is considered the greatest NBA rapper of all time, Anthony actually clowned the comparison, saying, Dame? In his songs, I don't even know what he's talking about. I'm rapping like Lil Baby, I really can rap. Now clowning like that was crazy. So that's why one of Dame's most legendary teammates even threw some shade.
He said Dame can't rap, basically.
He's better work on that jumper.
But even a rap battle with Dame wouldn't be as crazy as the car Anthony drove to a game that almost killed everybody. The cars in Anthony's collection have always been crazy. I mean, he's had Lambos that were black and blue, he got another one to match the colorway of his shoe, and he even got a Lambo that looked like it came out the movie Tron. But none of those cars were controversial like his newest purchase. Cause man's pulled up to a game in a Hypebeast mobile. Tesla Cybertruck. Not only did Anthony become one of the first NBA players to get one, it was the most trending vehicle in the world at the time, which wasn't a good thing. Thousands of Cybertrucks were being recalled because of a scary issue.
Let's talk about a recall now on thousands of Tesla Cybertrucks due to a pedal problem.
All the truck's accelerators were broken, meaning they could randomly speed up on their own and crash. So cause the truck could kill people at any moment, Anthony was criticized by fans all over X, and even the creatures on Reddit had things to say about Anthony's truck. But speaking of creatures, what if I told you that Anthony's best friend isn't a human? See, when our world got taken over by a pandemic, Anthony was a little lonely, and that's why he wanted a new pet lion. But that was a little too dangerous.
I love like dogs or like lions or something, but I knew I couldn't get no lions because I ain't got the house for it. He grew on me.
You named your dog Anthony Edwards Jr., which is just a great
Love the
name.
confidence.
It's awesome. You literally talk to your dog on Instagram. He helps you train. What's going on here?
He's the best dog in the world, man. Somebody had just asked me, like, what is my dog doing right now? I said, he watching himself, man. He know how to feed himself. He know how to let himself outside. He know how to do everything, so.
My most important thing in my life, besides basketball, is my dog. My favorite person in the world. Look at him. Just want to be around me, man. I love him.
Now, alright, if you couldn't tell he was Anthony's best friend yet, it was about to get obvious when they'd play basketball together.
Ready to shoot? You ready?
Anthony would post him everywhere. He got a custom painting of his boy wearing a T-Wolves jersey. They were both featured on bobbleheads, and Anthony Jr. even got his own social media account with more followers than me. But regardless, I think Anthony eventually got bored of having only one best friend, because eventually he got more dogs than I can count. Now, I just hope they don't eat what Anthony does, because dude has the worst diet of any pro athlete ever.
I can eat these during the interview?
And that's something he even admitted himself. He said what he eats every day is the worst diet for a basketball player. I mean, Anthony's always putting crazy things in his mouth.
Chester hot fries, the best chips that I ever made. I've been eating them since I was probably like 5 years old. I prefer these over any chips in the world. Probably eat like 3 a day. You do the math. Was that 21 bags? Yeah, I eat that many. Probably more though.
But even though hot fries are good, and I love deep throating them too, Anthony's unhealthy diet got crazier when he brought fast food to an interview.
You have Popeyes, Ant?
Yeah, man, I had to get Popeyes after the game.
Where do Popeyes fries rank?
Fries, they top 4.
Popeye started taking over his life after that. He'd walk around in their merch, was always talking about his favorite sauce.
It would be the barbecue sauce for sure. That's my favorite sauce on everything I eat.
And he eventually even started playing basketball with their food.
Yo, Ja, check this out.
Let's run that back.
Now, that's a 50. It's your turn.
Anthony's a munch, but not the kind Ice Spice likes. Because not only does dude even do interviews in restaurants,
I can eat these during the interview?
his sweet tooth made a bunch of his teammates talk about his junk food addiction.
This man opens his backpack and it's full of snacks. Like just every candy and snack you could think of.
We was driving back. He's like, yo, Cat, I ain't gonna lie, man. I need some cookies, man. He goes, man, I can't do it without some insomnia cookies tonight. He's like, oh, yeah, these motherfuckers gonna be good, boy. Say, let me get cookies and cream ice cream. I said, are you fucking serious right now?
But after Anthony eats all of that, of course he washes it down with some Sprite. And I can't argue with the results. I mean, he'd be having him dunk like this.
Same jam, new style points.
And it's also helped him set such crazy NBA records that they'll never be broken. The first of his 4 unbreakable records got set during a game against the Nuggets. All night long, this man was hitting 3.
Edwards was open and Ant.
After 3.
Edwards straight away. He connects.
After 3.
Floor. Edwards another triple.
And it seemed like he couldn't miss.
Other side of the bounce. I mean, Josh Okogie, or are you playing Jalen Noel? And Chris Finch talks about wanting to play the flow
for Edwards. Ant will take it on the glass with 8 rebounds. Edwards adds to his total. Ant looking for even more. He's not satisfied. Not beating Denver. And do we have 10? We do have 10!
That last shot from damn near half court not only helped him secure the win, it was his 10th 3 of the game and made him the youngest player in NBA history to hit that many. But Anthony's second unbreakable record is something that not even Steph Curry could do. Rewinding a few years, Anthony's been on pace to set a record since his first game in the NBA. During his debut, the first shot he ever made was a 3.
There we go.
And that trend continued throughout the first 3 years of his career, where this man hit more 3s than I do.
Edwards. Edwards a deep 3.
These are 4th in the NBA in mid-range field goal.
And sidesteps for...
There's no doubt about it.
Anthony Edwards, that one's
gonna have to make a play. Little step back from deep, but Edwards stays with it and got a 3.
Eventually though, Anthony came into a matchup with a total of 496 threes made in his career, and he was looking to become both the youngest and fastest NBA player ever to hit 500. In a game where he knocked down not 1, not 2, but 3 of them.
Gonna fire from 3, bottom!
History was about to be made.
Swing it to Edwards for 3, good! Again!
So that shot not only made Edwards the youngest player ever to hit 500 threes, he also became the quickest player to ever hit that milestone, only taking him 189 games. But this next record Anthony set is something that cemented him as a legend. The record was previously held by arguably the best player in Timberwolves history, Kevin Garnett. This was a man who carried his team to the playoffs, but not only that, he carried the load, no did he, by becoming a point guard. He scored 30 points in 7 different playoff games, which set a franchise record that seemed untouchable, until Anthony became a star and eventually got into the playoffs for the first time. He was destined for something legendary. And in just his 3rd playoff series ever, Mance hit this shot to give him 30 points, and it also tied KG in the history books. Obviously that wasn't good enough. So of course Anthony was about to go off again. This time, he went off way more than he needed to, until he got a game-sealing dunk. And there's a reason he was flashing 4-0 to the bench, because that not only was his 40th point, he set the record for most 30-point playoff games in franchise history, beating KG's record in over 30 fewer games.
He like a young 84 Jordan, boy. You hear me?
You going too far.
Listen, Lord, you not watching. That's how I know he not watching the game. Boy, you watching how 84. I said 84, nigga.
Now, speaking of playoffs, records, and scoring hella points, Anthony wanted to shock the world with one final record. Kinda. Because eventually he was matching up with the defending champ Denver Nuggets, and many people were counting him out. So not only did Anthony want to use the first game to make a huge statement, he was cooking them so much.
Leaning, spinning, shot, sticks it. Edwards will rock it down court. Look at this, right to the rack.
That he eventually ended the game with 43 points. 43. Once again, he set a Timberwolves record, this time for the most points scored during a playoff game in team history. And the craziest part was, his record didn't even stay for long. Just a few games later, he went even crazier and dropped 44 points, breaking his own record.
It's a three.
Damn, this man is a basketball god. But what if I told you he plans on leaving the NBA for another job? Now, I'm not talking about him working as a cashier like me. Your total is $69.69, sir. Anthony wants to stay in sports because he's confident he could go pro in any of them.
I used to play baseball when I was young. Yeah, it'd be hot.
How good a baseball player were you?
I could have went to MLB.
MLB?
Yeah.
I am not surprised.
I'm serious though. You think I'm joking? I'm serious.
No, I love your confidence. What positions did you play?
I played pitcher, shortstop, third base, and center field.
Those are the prime positions.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, you were the best player on your team.
Yeah, it's that. Now we talking.
You could hit the ball.
But I was 4th, 5th hitter. You know what that means.
Clean up, yeah.
Straight clean up on aisle 3. Come get it.
Sounds like you're just an athlete.
Yeah.
Okay, ping pong, baseball, football, basketball.
Tennis, swimming, lacrosse, whatever you need me to play, I'm gonna go do it. If there's some money on the line, I'm gonna go do it.
Can you golf?
Whatever you need me to do.
Hockey.
Whatever, on the ring, whatever you need me to do, it don't matter.
But out of every sport he mentioned, he's always been the best at football.
I played football, basketball, and baseball until probably like 14. I thought I was gonna be in the NFL, and then I started getting better at basketball.
Anthony knew he had a chance at making the NFL when he was not only bigger than every kid on the field, this man was a star quarterback and played as the running back where he'd score multiple touchdowns every game. Now, even though Anthony eventually got bored of dominating on the field and switched to killing kids on the court, his love for football followed him all the way into the NBA, where nowadays he warms up for games with football drills, and sometimes he even shows off that he should become the next quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, yeah. Yo, Nick. Yo, Nick. Hey, big boy. Look up, Nick. Put that bitch out there. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Oh, my God.
But it wasn't just the NFL GOAT Tom Brady who saw Anthony throw and thought, maybe he should switch sports. Not only do I already know that Justin Jefferson would like that,
Anthony Edwards. What stands out to you most out of this player?
Man, he's crazy. He's crazy athletic, crazy ability to make a move and hit a step back jumper. So I'm excited to see what he got today.
Anthony actually is planning to become the first NBA player ever to go join the NFL.
Would you still feel like you can go play football?
Yeah.
Is it a basketball player that switched and did both?
I think I might be the first one.
You gonna do it?
I'll try.
When?
First, I gotta handle my business in the NBA.
What all you gotta do? Tell us.
I just want to, as a team, Minnesota organization, we want to win the championship. And after that, we'll figure it out.
You know that means you gotta pass the ball.
I passed the ball.
You scored 33 points one time.
That was in a half. I mean, I just got hot. When you hot, you keep going. You don't pass it.
All right, now that seems like all fun and games, but Anthony might not have a choice. He might actually get kicked out of the NBA because he's already been in so many controversies that it's racked up over $100,000 in fines. Anthony's first scandal happened with a post on Instagram.
Look at these ass niggas, man. Do what the world done came to, bro.
And calling people slurs like that definitely ain't gonna fly in the world today. So that not only had fans upset, the NBA saw. And since they have a strict rule against players using offensive and derogatory language on social media, Anthony was forced to apologize and spanked with a $40,000 fine. But what cost even more was his next controversial incident. Now, I ain't talking about when he subscribed to HitFlix. That's free. And since Anthony's a fan, why the hell aren't you? Subscribe. Anyways, Anthony's more expensive fine came at the end of a playoff game when he was on the brink of being eliminated. With only a few seconds left and his squad down by only 3 points, this happened.
Conley looking for Edwards, finally gets it to him. Edwards launches, no, and Denver survives.
and they have punched their ticket to the Western semis.
But that miss, loss, and season ending for Anthony wasn't even the worst part. The situation turned into a police investigation. See, when Anthony was running to the locker room, he was seen swinging a metal chair, and that chair hit 2 innocent stadium employees, injuring them. So police cited Edwards for assault, and afterwards, the NBA released a statement saying that for recklessly swinging a chair in frustration that struck 2 bystanders, this time Anthony was fined $50,000. But that fine, combined with his other, is only $90,000. And according to my calculations, we were supposed to get over $100K. What took it there came during an intense battle between Anthony and another top team in the West. Not only were things instantly getting physical, throughout the game, Anthony didn't feel like he was getting any calls.
Edwards, driving and finishing. They needed to get stops throughout the course of the second half. They've been able to find them. Edwards drives, and Anthony Edwards down the lane and elevates for that huge dunk.
But complaining to the refs, that clearly wasn't helping. So Anthony just helped carry his squad to a win, and after the game, he put those refs on blast.
7 points, but contributions all around, a team effort in this one.
And tonight it was the battle amongst the best in the West. You guys take sole position of #1 in the West. How did you get it done in this environment?
I don't know, and I'm gonna take the fine because the refs did not give us no calls tonight. We had to play through every bump, every grab. I don't know how we won tonight. Big shout out to my team, big shout out to my coaches, for sure.
Yeah, Mans knew he was getting fined for that, because tons of players in the past got consequences for repeatedly publicly criticizing the officiating. So right after, Anthony was also fined $40K, which means in total fines, Anthony's lost $130,000. All that cash, gone in stupid ways. But I bet you didn't know that Anthony also spends his money in embarrassing ways. Jewelry is something that Anthony's became addicted to buying. After all, the man's worth over $250 million, so he can afford whatever the hell piece he wants. So famous jewelers definitely noticed, and they were beyond impressed with his collection.
Anthony Edwards is actually wearing one of these. You've probably seen this same chain in the soccer world, the NBA world, the football world. Anthony Edwards here is wearing 2 of the ones that I made for him. It's a color chain. Gold comes in rose gold, white gold, yellow gold. So you really can't go out and have as many options when you're doing that. But when you start looking at colored stones and sapphires, you can play with your fits more.
But none of those pieces, or this, compared to Anthony's favorite chain.
Next up, my 85 chain. The biggest chain that I got, my favorite chain. I think it draws all the attention in the world. Probably too much attention, but I love the chain. I like jewelry, I like chains. Rappers like to wear all the chains, all the watches, 2 watches, bracelets. This is my logo, so I wear it when I'm, having fun with my friends pretty much. That's the only time. I wear it to the game. Tunnel style, definitely gotta wear this.
And listen, Mans was not capping either. He's always flexing this chain during games, interviews, even while he's shopping for other things. But during an interview is ironically where Edwards revealed an embarrassing secret about his jewelry.
The little one is like some bull for real. It really was fake. It just looked good. It wasn't fake. Nah, it was fake.
That's a fake chain you wearing? So you was wearing a fake chain in this picture?
Yeah. People gonna think it real anyway because it's me.
So you be wearing fake shit?
Hell yeah. I ain't gonna spend all that money on that jewelry.
That AE chain you got is fake?
Nah, that shit real. I ain't gonna cap. That was real.
So what other fake items do you own?
Both of them chain fake.
Both of them? Them earrings you got on right now?
Fake. They just look good.
Shit. But regardless if his jewelry's fake, at least his plays on the court are real. Because he's pulled off some of the craziest dunks in NBA history.
I just like dunking on people, man.
Well, but then the legs would catch up a little bit.
Anthony Edwards, major elevation and the foul.
Ant-Man, flex on him, young fella.
Fun game here in the Twin Cities. Look at the moves by Edwards. Swashbuckling and slamming. Anthony Edwards.
Laser pass, McDaniels, no.
Oh, goodness! Climbs the ladder to the rim, escalator style. Anthony Edwards.
Break opportunity for the Wolves, and Reed gives it up. Here's Edwards down the lane.
The hammer! Look out below! I'm up here high-fiving fans up in the suite. That was unbelievable.
A lot of opportunities for Cat to expand expand his offensive game with that three-point shot, especially in transition. And
Edwards! The explosion to the rim! Oohs and ahs from this Little Caesars Arena crowd. Does it need to be defensively? Edwards! Oh, my! On his head!
Oh my god, and don't get me wrong, all of those were definitely crazy. But those don't even compare to his best dunks ever. There was a time that he embarrassed a legend in the playoffs.
10 to shoot. Edwards. Oh, Edwards! A signature slam! Skywalker Anthony Edwards. He's at another level.
There were also dunks where he damn near jumped over grown-ass men.
They were lucky that wasn't turned over. Anthony Edwards, that time he does finish with the exclamation point. Wow, Bobby got his feelings hurt on this one. I mean, that is absolutely filthy.
But his Mona Lisa of dunks was so crazy, it nearly put himself in the hospital.
And only had one shot attempt in that first half. Another turnover for Utah. Edwards gets it.
Dislocated my finger. You see it?
On your left hand, too.
I couldn't react to it. I wish I could have reacted to it. I wish I could have.
Now, alright man, injuring himself for a highlight is insane. Why does this man go so hard? Oh yeah, it's all because of the number 5 that he wears on his jersey. And it turns out the secret behind why he chose it is because multiple people died. The tragedy that happened to Anthony is actually only part of the reason number 5 is so important to him. It's followed him everywhere, like in 2001, when he was born on April 5th. But that wasn't going to be the only 5th day of a month that became significant to him. Because even though his mom Yvette raised him and was supporting him in sports as his biggest fan,
Little League football games, those are the best. She would be running up and down the sidelines with me every time I scored a touchdown, yeah. Number 1 fan, yeah, for sure.
as perfect as things were, everything was about to change. In 2015, Anthony's mom was diagnosed with cancer, and not long after, she was rushed to the hospital. Suddenly, her breathing started to slow down, and on the 5th day of the month, she passed away. And if that wasn't hard enough, Anthony's grandma wasn't doing well either. She was also suffering from cancer, where her health also kept getting worse. And as time went on, just a few months after Anthony's mom's tragedy, on the 5th day of a new month, now his grandma passed away.
2015, I lost my mom and my grandma. It wasn't easy, so I just kept playing basketball. Like, me and my brother told each other we weren't gonna stop playing basketball because of it, because we know that if they were still here, they would want us to keep playing. So I just channeled all my energy towards basketball, stopped worrying about everything else.
How tough a time was that for you, especially being so young, trying to understand this all?
Losing my mom was real tough, and my grandma, she was like our backbone. She was like, no matter what happens in life, just smile, because you're able to wake up and see the next day. That's why every time people see me, I always got a smile on my face, no matter what's going on.
Now, as tragic as everything was, those 5th days weren't something Anthony wanted to forget. So from that point on, he wore number 5 on his jersey so they could always be on the court with him. From dominating in high school while wearing it, all the way into college where he kept rocking it, eventually the number 5 fueled Edwards enough to eventually be considered one of the top picks in the NBA draft. And on the big day, Anthony waited to hear his name get called while he sat next to portraits of his mom and grandma.
With the first pick in the 2020 NBA draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Anthony Edwards from the University of Georgia.
So Anthony Edwards with his mother and grandmother with him there in spirit.
Now, when Anthony's dream came true of making the NBA, you already know what number he wanted. With a teammate already wearing number 5, Anthony was temporarily forced to choose a new number. Wearing the number 1 definitely didn't stop him from becoming a star, but but Anthony always wanted to wear his favorite number instead. So after a mural was painted in his hometown honoring him, his mom, and his grandma, it was time for him to make a change.
We're here because I want to tell the Wolves fans that I'm switching from number 1 to number 5 this year. Finally got the chance, so, making a change. I was hoping my teammate Malik Beasley would let me, but, he didn't want to come up off of it, so I had to choose one. I've always been 5, high school, college, even before high school, AAU. I've just always loved the number 5s. My family loved to see me in that number, so, it's a dope number to be in. A lot of big days on the 5th, my birthday, my sister's birthday. My grandma passed on the 5th, so, just big days. It's gonna look good with Edwards on the back. We're gonna put on a show this year, man, number 5. All my new fans, all my old fans, go get the 5 jersey.
But out of everything Anthony went through, none of it's as crazy as Jimmy Butler's becoming an NBA legend. But he's got secrets he doesn't tell anybody. A sus relationship with Michael Jordan? A magazine controversy? He was literally homeless and he almost died. These are 20 things you didn't know about Jimmy Butler. And first, Jimmy's the best singer in the NBA?
So do you sing?
Do I sing?
Yeah.
Do birds fly? Okay now.
Music is a part of Jimmy's DNA. Whether he's singing for fun, before NBA games,
Jimmy, this your jam! I hear it!
or during commercials,
I won't dance. Oh, yes I will. I won't sing.
he's fallen in love with singing so much, he doesn't care who he annoys.
Making my way downtown, walking fast.
Look at Katie, look at Katie.
But Jimmy's favorite type of music is country. It inspired him to change his entire look, and it got Jimmy in the booth working on his own album. Low-key, I might have to start bumping Jimmy on the aux. Anyways, that's just what comes out of Jimmy's mouth though. At number 19, what he puts in it is one of the weirdest diets I've ever seen.
I haven't been to a grocery store in a long time.
Jimmy doesn't eat like other NBA players. We're talking about a dude who apparently can't even eat a single meal that doesn't have avocados. It only gets crazier though. Dude has an entire series on his YouTube channel where he cooks cheat meals. Sometimes, Jimmy even casually eats some of the hottest wings in the world.
It goes to nothing. Here it goes. I did it.
But the craziest part about Jimmy's diet is that before every meal, he has to eat dessert first? I don't know how the man stays in good enough shape to be a pro basketball player. Maybe that's why at number 18, he's training to become a professional race car driver.
I need to get in my zone. I got a race coming up.
Come on, let's pray. I'm for real. Heavenly Father, please don't let them do nothing crazy while I'm in the car. You know I'm scared. Look over. Amen.
Yo, please don't go that fast. Yeah? No, you don't gotta go that fast. You're going too fast!
Nah, I'm playing. Jimmy ain't actually a speed racer. Dude only drives soccer mom vans.
What car have you got? What car have I got? What car have you got? A minivan, a Toyota Sienna. Sit back and relax. We're on the road. Mine, not our, my Toyota Sienna. How you doing, Toyota Sienna?
But no matter what Jimmy pulls up in, compares to number 17, Jimmy actually predicted the future? It all started with Game 7 of the 2022 Eastern Conference Finals, where with time winding down, and Jimmy having a chance to save his team from elimination, his shot lost them the series.
For the lead! Loose and Horford.
So afterwards, all Jimmy could say was,
We had enough. Next year, we will have enough, and we're gonna be right back in the same situation, and we're gonna get it done.
And now, fast forward to exactly a year later. It was the exact same day. The Heat were matched up with the exact same opponents for yet another Game 7. This time though, rumors spread that Miami already booked their flight to Denver for the NBA Finals, all because of Jimmy's prediction. And well, later that night,
The Heat
are going to the NBA Finals. What a win on the road. Third win in this series for the Heat in Miami.
Damn, Jimmy really told the future. But if only he could have seen number 16, the time he was almost killed. Jimmy's always been scared of the water.
I know what I'm good at, and being in water, I'm not good at.
I mean, he admitted he's a grown man who can't even swim.
I can't swim, so I
can't
no
swim
reason.
either.
You can't swim? Oh, you got hood tendencies, man. You would run with us. Give me some.
So after ESPN heard Jimmy's confession, they tried helping him conquer his fear with a trip to the woods.
What are we getting into?
Little outdoorsy stuff.
My swag is crazy right now.
Boom. Get a life preserver on this guy.
Oh yeah, no, I need both of these. I can't swim. Right, left, right. Are there sharks out here?
I don't think so. Okay, now just sit down.
Yo, this is not happening right now.
We did it.
We gotta start paddling, paddle.
Well, are you helping?
Yeah, I'm helping. Go left, go left. This water is cold. I don't think that makes sense. I think I should go this way.
No, if you do that, we'll go straight. Just keep going. We're turning. Can't you see we're turning?
Look, I'm making sure that we're being stagnant. See?
Well,
I
you're
told
going
you.
backwards, dude.
Yeah, but you're going that way, so it's making us turn.
That was a lot harder than I thought it would be because somebody didn't pull their weight.
Yes, I did.
Whatever, bro. What? Get up!
I'm hot! I'm mad! You set me up!
Now, alright, Jimmy didn't actually almost lose his life, but at number 15, what if I told you that he changed his biggest fan's life?
And so we're back with a great story, the Miami Heat making a lifetime memory for a fan who traveled a long way to see his favorite player.
Oh, it started out as a night of disappointment for 12-year-old Felipe. It turned into a memory that will certainly last a lifetime. Here's what happened. Right before tip-off of the game last night, Jimmy Butler was scratched with a back issue. Much to the dismay, you see the young kid there traveled more than 4,400 miles to see Jimmy play. Traveled from Argentina, but at the half, the Heat ended up giving him a jersey and a ball. The Heat making it right for Felipe. There's Gabe Vincent giving him the gifts at halftime, the ball, the jersey. What a great story, right?
But signed jerseys and pictures with the team couldn't fully make up for the fan not seeing his favorite player actually hooping. So Jimmy surprised his entire family with the time of their lives.
I was devastated because I never want to miss games, and I know that everybody wants to watch their favorite players play. And believe it or not, I am some people's favorite player. But I got to change their flight plans. I got to hang out with them. And then they got to sit courtside and watch me do my thing.
Oh my God.
Jimmy comes right, working against Carter. Touchback trap, plus a foul.
We have fans all over the world, and I want all those fans to be able to watch myself play and everybody else play. So any opportunity we get to do that, I want to make that happen.
Wow, for Jimmy to care that much about just one of his fans says a lot about who he is off the basketball court. And so does number 14. Because Jimmy's secretly leaving the NBA?
On this team right now, which players realistically could be in the NFL and why?
Me. Like, I'm very serious. And I think if you were to ask people that aren't haters, which everybody on this team is, it'd be me because I'm fast and I have great hands. I can really catch.
He's an idiot. Jimmy's an idiot. You can't even score on me, bro.
I think he's absurd.
No way.
Jimmy has no shot.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Jimmy is not good as good a receiver as the worst receiver in the NFL.
Nobody except Jimmy believed he could actually be a football player. So he began obsessing over proving people wrong, like he challenged an NBA player on the field and burned him. Then, Jimmy began comparing his basketball ability to a football player.
Jimmy, watching you on Kyle's passes, it almost looks like you were tight end out there.
Don't do that.
There was even one play.
Wide receiver.
Okay, wide receiver.
And after that, he even started challenging NFL superstars to $30,000 battles.
With that being said, I could be in debt $30,000 to him right now because I tried to guard him in the red zone and failed.
One of the best wide receivers in the league. You bet him $30,000.
Hypothetically speaking, it started at 10. He could or could not have went 3 for 3. 3 times 10 is 30. I'm just saying it could have happened.
You thought you would best AB once.
Hypothetically speaking, yes.
But once Jimmy got cooked by real football players, I mean, he posted saying that he could see his football dreams slipping away. And now I see why at number 13, Jimmy bullies celebrities and steals their money.
Shoot my 6 jump shots, bust his ass and go to bed.
What if I outshoot you left-handed? Let's go 10 with my left and you shoot 10 with your right. I'm not a lefty. Oh. Oh.
Hey, what's the bet for? You go first. Big adjustment. Money down. Bring it let's celebrate together. Money in the bank. Money in the bank. That's how you do it. And Wesley Snyder. Oh, that's on. 3 feet. Oh shit, let me move. Glance of your eye. Come on, JB. Come on, JB. Somebody call him an Uber. Call him an Uber. Call him an Uber.
Now, alright, I'm not gonna lie. Kevin kept it close, but not even a short king like himself was gonna take on the Jimmy Butler. Besides, Jimmy needs all the money he can get, cause at number 12, when he whipped out the funniest celebration in NBA history, he got fined.
Hand off to Strus, lets it fly. Kaboom! Max Strus to the rescue.
It's Bo's fault. He always says to celebrate everybody else's success. Max going to 10-0 run, I celebrate, I get fine.
I mean, it's Jimmy, man. Dude's always excited when balls are around. Like, at number 11, he literally admitted he blew up.
Damn, that don't even sound right. I just blew up.
Yeah. When Jimmy took a business trip to Italy, it wasn't only to enjoy the scenery. A tour guide took him to a special place where they created all sorts of glass decorations.
Oh, it's a pony. I'm a pony. I'm a pony. Oh, you in the game.
But Jimmy wasn't just trying to stand around and watch. He wanted in on the action, so he refused to leave without showing them what his mouth game could do.
I got one blow as fast as I can. That's right. I look like a huh? Damn, that don't even sound right. I just blew up. Oh, wow. That was so unnecessary. You did not have to swing it like that.
Damn, Jimmy might be a throat goat. But speaking of goats, at number 10, what if I told you that Michael Jordan is secretly Jimmy Butler's dad? Rumors about Michael Jordan having a secret unnamed son have been spreading like crazy. And reports said that Jordan had a kid around the time Jimmy was born. Back in 1988, according to Jordan's game log, he was playing the Mavericks on December 3rd in Texas. Ironically though, Jimmy was born in the exact same area of Texas on September 14th, 1989, around 9 months after Jordan's trip. And to make the situation even weirder, Jimmy's mom apparently received 23 roses when he was born. Maybe it's a coincidence, but all this time, Jordan's apparently kept whoever his son was a secret to protect his public image, and he secretly paid a woman child support for 13 years until all of a sudden the payments stopped. The craziest part about all this though is the legendary story of Jimmy is that when he turned 13 years old, his unknown dad disappeared from the family. And Jimmy's mom actually kicked him out and sent him into homelessness after she said, "I don't like the look of you. You gotta go."
My mom kicked me out of my house, to tell the truth. I bounced in and out of guys' houses in high school. Like I said, my senior year, I found a stable home that just kept me. Without them, I definitely wouldn't be in this position.
But, why wouldn't she like the look of this innocent kid? Well, taking a look at the viral picture of Jimmy and Jordan side by side, I mean, they look pretty damn identical if you ask me. Not to mention, we've seen Jimmy doing Jordan's iconic layups, hitting turnaround fadeaways on Kobe, just like Jordan did. And the two were even seen recently hanging out at a shooting competition. Man, like father, like son. And now I see how Jimmy was miraculously drafted by the Bulls. Cause at number 9, he instantly broke one of Jordan's most legendary records. During one of Jimmy's matchups with the Raptors, he was on the wrong side of history after dropping only 2 points in the first half. But when the next quarter started, Jimmy turned into Mike.
Butler, and he gets it. Jimmy Butler, another driving layup. Foot jump is good. Turns baseline, fires, scores. Jimmy right now is asking for that. Butler inside, pump fake, score, and a foul. Butler hangs, fires, scores, and Ross into the lanes. Good with a left hand. Jimmy for 3. Got it. Stop it, JB. Single-handedly put this team on his shoulders. Raises up, fires.
Oh, Jimmy G buckets. The G stands for Gex. Oh!
That's 40 points in the second half. 40, which not only carried his team to the win and broke Jordan's Bulls record for most points scored in a single half, it even had Jordan's best teammate talking about it on Twitter. But who the f cares what Scottie Pippen says though? Dude looks like a homeless man and is a troll. But no NBA player's a bigger troll than Jimmy at number 8. We're talking about a dude who mocks how his teammates dribble, or when his opponents like Al Horford troll Jimmy with a celebration, he'll do it right back at him, beat him, then post it on Instagram. Speaking of Insta though, Jimmy's even the type of dude to flirt with NBA legends girls on their own pics. Until Dwayne Wade threatened to whoop his ass, so he stopped doing that. But Jimmy ain't afraid of anybody. He knows Jimmy ain't one to play with, especially after number 6, where Jimmy's been training to become a Roman gladiator?
Couple of things I have to tell you before having you in the arena to see you spitting blood and dust.
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
You're gonna be spitting the blood.
Let's do it. Oh, what's up, baby? Okay, now. Yeah, that's the movement.
Oh, he didn't do that.
Shut up! I'm talking to you. Shut up, Snake. What?
Yo, this is going. You talked to me like that one more time.
Do you wanna live or die? Do you want cookies, guys?
Cookies? I thought you never
Stop talking! Show yourself! 1! Ah! 2! Ah! Give me number 2! Ah! 3! Ah! 4!
Hey, you cold with it, boy. I know you had that. That was cold.
Guys,
that was cold, huh?
What do you wanna? Let me tell you. You're good?
Yeah.
Great. No, you are not good.
Oh,
you
man.
You are not good.
That ain't it.
I don't want to see you dancing. We are not making a, how do you say, street dance, okay?
Got him. I read that one. All right, that's enough for one day.
Did you have a good time?
Yes, sir.
Sure?
Yep.
This is your Roman citizenship. Where are you going? We did it! We did it! We did it!
Damn, now Jimmy's a certified killer. But at number 5, he's also an armed robber?
I sit in his chair pregame. He comes back in the locker room and tells me to get the fuck up on my seat, Scotty.
It's a playoff. Stop fucking around.
That's our pregame routine.
Who the hell does Jimmy think he is with that gun out? Ja Morant?
It's a parade inside my city, yeah.
Shut your dumb ass up, Ja. You better get kicked out of the league and lose $1 million again. Just like number 4 when Jimmy lost his own fans over $1 million.
Your job is to put this ball in that hoop without stepping over this line. And if you make it, our studio audience will split $1 million. And I should point out that if you don't, they will follow you back to your hotel and destroy everything in it, okay?
I'm not in a hotel, so.
Oh, okay, very good. Here he is, Jimmy Butler. The ball's up. Oh! Should we give him one more shot? I had a feeling they would say that. Jimmy, this is your last shot. Be better this time. I don't know what to say other than that. The people, traffic is getting angry. Oh, here it goes. Here it goes. Oh, That's unfortunate. I'm sorry, but you know what? I don't want our audience to go home empty-handed. So how about this? If you make a layup, if you run across the street and make a layup, we'll give everyone a pair of gold toe socks. That's the show for tonight. I'd like to thank Jimmy Butler.
Damn, hold up. Jimmy can't make shots for a mil, but he can make them for socks? He even hits shots that make grown men wet? Jimmy, in the water? I already know he hated that. And to be honest, at number 3, what if I told you he actually hates the team he plays for? Jimmy never wanted to join the Miami Heat. I mean, just take a look at his magazine interview. He literally said the one thing he'd never wear was a Miami Heat jersey. Now that's awkward.
There was a magazine clipping of you, and it was an interview about your fashion. And then the one question was, what's the one thing you never want to wear? Do you remember your answer to it?
Yep.
What was your answer?
It was a Miami Heat jersey. When I'm coming to the league, I mean, the Heat used to beat the Bulls all the time. We can't like the Miami Heat. You can't like D-Wade, even though y'all went to the same school. Like, you know, and then you fast forward and I'm playing with D-Wade for the Bulls. I'm like, this guy's not a bad guy. It was Tibbs that just kept hitting me upside my head. And full circle, and now it'll be the last jersey that I wear.
Speaking of jerseys though, haven't you ever wondered why Jimmy wears a different jersey number for every single team he plays for? Well, at number 2, there's secrets behind why he chose them. In high school, Jimmy repped the number 1 because of his idol, NBA legend Tracy McGrady. And that number ironically helped Jimmy become such a basketball legend, the school retired his number. Once Jimmy got to college at Marquette though, he wanted to rep his family's favorite NBA legend, Larry Bird. So Jimmy rocked the number 33, and while wearing that, made college basketball history. Coming into the NBA though, a lot has changed for Jimmy's jersey numbers. Cause while playing for the Bulls, he wanted to rep his dad's 23, but obviously they retired Jordan's number, so Jimmy had to settle for 21. But deep down, he always wanted MJ's number. And that's why when he eventually went to Minnesota, then got dealt to Philly, he repped the number 23 there. When he got to Miami though, there was a huge problem with choosing that number. It's all cause the Heat retired Jordan's number even though he never even played there. And it was just cause the Heat's owner, Pat Riley, believed nobody in the NBA should be allowed to wear the number after what Jordan accomplished.
We want to honor you tonight by hanging your jersey forever. Number 23 from the Raptors of the American Airlines Arena, and that no player ever again will ever wear number 23 for the Miami Heat here.
So yeah, you can see why not even LeBron could get the number when he came to Miami, but Pat was willing to break the rules just for Jimmy to come join the Heat family.
You can't wear 23 here because of MJ. Literally, Pat Riley retired it. But I will say this, whenever I did come here, Pat told me that I could wear 23. So 22 it is.
And now when you think about it, I don't know if you see what I see, but if only Jimmy's allowed that number, it's like maybe he really is Michael Jordan Jr. But that's not as big of a secret as number 1, because all year long, Jimmy's had a hidden motivation to humiliate the Boston Celtics. Now it's not because their legendary legacy, it's not because of their star players Jayson Tatum or Jaylen Brown, it's because of this guy right here, Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla. It turns out, Joe and Jimmy have a history that dates back to 2011. Cause during a win-or-go-home game of the Big East tournament, it was West Virginia, the team Joe played for, versus Marquette, the team Jimmy played for. Whoever won was heading to the next round of the tournament, and Joe got it started by hitting a 3. Then Jimmy got to the line, knocked down a few free throws, and hit a 3 of his own shortly after. It was a back-and-forth battle between both teams all game long. But everything came down to a Jimmy free throw, which he hit, and Joe missing the last shot of the game. It was over. Jimmy knocked dude right out the tournament and crushed his NBA dreams. So now you can see why when they met in the 2023 Eastern Conference Finals, Jimmy wasn't just clowning the Celtics, dude even called a timeout for their coach. Now that's crazy, but not as crazy as Jayson Tatum's becoming a legend, but there's still so much you don't know about him. Like the time an NBA player forced him to break the law, or his deadly illness that could kill him at any second. Here's 10 things you didn't know about Jayson Tatum. And first, let's talk about the teacher who tried ruining his life. Growing up, Tatum was a lot like most of us. He loved basketball and dreamed of eventually becoming an NBA player, until one day, Tatum's 4th grade teacher destroyed his dreams.
4th grade, the teacher told me, I want everybody to write a paragraph on what they want to be when they get older, what they want to do when they get older. She came around me, I was like, I want to be in the NBA. I want to be in the NBA one day. I want y'all to see me on TV. She looked at me and she was like, you gotta pick something more realistic. I remember everybody in the class kind of laughed at me. And I felt this big. I was embarrassed. And I remember I was crying. I told my mom.
These teachers, man, I swear they don't want to see anybody win. But thankfully, Tatum's parents immediately began training him for the NBA. And that's what led to Tatum embarrassing a grown-ass man while he was in middle school. By the time Tatum was a 5th grader, his parents were already preparing him to be a basketball superstar. And they told him one day he'd be one of the best players in the NBA. Now, his mom let him be, but his dad was ruthless.
I used to practice with him 4 to 5 times a week, and he would treat me like I was in high school. So if I messed up, he was harder on me than he was the other kids. And I used to cry every day on the way home. I used to basically almost quit basketball every day because of him.
Now at that point, Tatum didn't realize it yet, but his dad slowly molded him into the best basketball player of his age group. And at just 11 years old, Tatum already started dominating. Not only was he dropping over 25 points a game, Tatum was literally dunking on dudes 3 times his age. And his first victim was his own dad? Yeah, just look at this. Tatum hit a growth spurt and got so good at basketball, he was pretty much destined for the league. Until an NBA player made him do something illegal. It all started with Tatum's mom. When she wasn't training Tatum for the NBA, she played on a volleyball team and became great friends with her coach, Besta Beal. It turned out, Besta also had a son, Bradley Beal, and even though he was 5 years older than Tatum, once they hung out, they became best friends.
We grew up in the same neighborhood. He was 4 minutes from my crib. So I had a perfect role model, a perfect visualization every day of where I wanted to go, where I wanted to be. He was living proof.
Now, everything seemed all good until Beal pressured Tatum into breaking the law. At the time, Beal had just gotten drafted to the NBA, so Tatum was learning firsthand what it actually took to get there. But since Tatum was so young, Beal pressured Tatum into doing things he wasn't legally old enough to do. And eventually, Tatum learned the hard way.
Brad was the first person to take me to the club when I was 16. He took me to the club a couple of times. My mama found out. My mom cussed Brad out in front of my house one day, you got my son at the club. He still got stuff to lose.
Bruh, I just want to know what type of bottles of 16-year-olds popping in the club. These? And come on, Beal. You're really taking kids to the club, but you can't take your team to the playoffs? You gotta get your priorities straight. For real though, Tatum's mom let it go since Beal was literally an NBA player and could help Tatum make it to the league. But when the night came for Tatum's dreams to become reality, it turned into his worst nightmare. Tatum showed up on draft night, anxiously waiting for his name to be called. Because not only did he work his entire life for this moment, he had an opportunity to be selected by his dream team. And one by one, the picks rolled in.
With the first pick, the Philadelphia 76ers select Markelle Fultz. With the second pick, the Los Angeles Lakers select Lonzo Ball.
But what happened next completely devastated him.
With the third pick in the 2017 NBA Draft, the Boston Celtics select Jayson Tatum from Duke University.
It was official. Tatum was a Celtic. And yeah, he looked happy in the moment, but deep down, he felt empty.
My favorite player, my idol was Kobe, and everybody know that. I didn't like the Celtics at all growing up. I only grew up, I was like, man, I'm gonna play for the Lakers. I'm gonna play for the Lakers. Honestly, I didn't even know where Boston was at. I knew it was on the East Coast, but I never been there. I never thought about going there. And then when I got drafted, I'm like, man, it's kind of crazy. I used to hate the Celtics.
Now, alright, eventually Tatum accepted his team and vowed to give the Celtics his all. But despite him quickly turning into a superstar, he was about to meet the most embarrassing moment of his life. Tatum started his NBA career signing his own Nike deal. And within 2 years, his accomplishments drew the attention of NBA legends. Cause one day, Tatum's agent let him know that Michael Jordan wanted to negotiate a shoe deal. And, Tatum was stunned that the GOAT even knew who he was. So the decision was a no-brainer.
You know, we took a trip to Monte Carlo and Paris this summer, and that was kind of like my introduction to Jordan Brand, to the world, and meeting all the guys.
Now, a trip to Paris, negotiating a multi-million-dollar signature shoe deal, and hanging out with MJ? What could go wrong? Well, despite Tatum becoming a great player, he was still a kid, so the nerves kicked in. And that night when he pulled up for dinner, things got ugly.
And then that night we had a dinner. Everybody was there, so I remember I'm still nervous, right? So I walk in, MJ sitting down, his wife next to him, but then I walk over to him and like my hands start sweating. And I was like, what's up, Mike? And when I went to go shake his hand, I knocked over his wine glass on the table and it broke. And I was like,
Damn, embarrassing yourself in front of the GOAT? That's brutal. But not as brutal as the time Tatum's son humiliated the Celtics. This is Jayson Tatum Jr., aka Deuce. And you'd think a kid who looks like this is innocent, right? Well, he's actually a monster. Yeah, Deuce is constantly spotted around Tatum, showing up to games and post-game interviews. But behind the scenes, things have been getting violent. And one of Tatum's teammates is suffering the consequences. It's been kept a secret, but when Deuce showed up courtside to watch his dad play, he couldn't help himself and viciously attacked.
Deuce is always trying to attack me anytime I come around him, and that's just who he is. You know, we all love Deuce, and he's our guy, so we'll take it.
Damn, Marcus, you really in the locker room getting beat up by a little kid? If I were you, I would have kept that on the low, like Tatum's secret ritual. Since Tatum started playing basketball, he studied the greatest players, and one thing he noticed about the best is that they all have a pregame routine. LeBron's chalk toss, Stephen Curry's tunnel shots, Dwayne Wade's rim pull-ups. Tatum knew if he ever wanted to make it to their level, he needed a pregame ritual. But being a middle schooler, he didn't have many options until him and his grandma came up with an idea. Once they started, they never stopped. And Tatum admitted, I've done it since middle school with my grandma, and it's something that's carried to now. It just wouldn't feel right if I didn't do it. Before every game, I just have to watch HitFlix. I subscribe because I know they're uploading new videos every week. But also before every game, I look up into the stands and I find my grandma. We know to look for each other before the game. When we make eye contact, I tug on my ear and she'll do the same. It's basically something to let each other know it's time to go out there and give it my all. To this day, he still does that before every game. And cause Tatum strongly believes in superstitions, he thinks his hair is cursed. Yeah. Throughout Tatum's career, we've seen him rocking this cut. But out of nowhere, he came into the NBA bubble and said, new pandemic, new me, and revealed his new curls. But it got his ass roasted. Someone said Tatum looked like James Harden and Trae Young combined. Even NBA legends jumped in on the fun. Now, Tatum laughed it off with some tweets, but the cyberbullying worked, because he wanted his old hair back. But before he had a chance, his family convinced him to keep it for a game or two. And in the first game of the bubble, things got ugly. Because not only did the Celtics lose, Tatum had the worst game of his entire career. And right at that moment, Tatum knew it was all because of his hair.
And we played Milwaukee. I was 2 for 18.
Damn.
I couldn't buy a basket. And my trainer, he cut his own hair. Like, that's how desperate I was. So the next day, at the practice, I knock on him like, yo, Nick, cut this shit off. He like, you for real? I'm like, yeah, yo, I can't. So he cut all my hair off.
And what do you know? The very next game after Tatum cut his hair, he dropped 34 points.
When I get a cut, I think I'm top 5. Top 5 what? Top 5.
But Tatum isn't the only one who thinks his hair affects his game. Even Donovan Mitchell admitted it. But at least Tatum's hair didn't affect him as much as his life-threatening illness. Throughout the pandemic, people suffered all across the globe. And in the NBA, Tatum was one of the unlucky players. Once he got sick, the effects became so intense, it completely changed his life. Not only was he forced out of the NBA for weeks, he never fully recovered. COVID lowered Tatum's stamina, and he struggled with shortness of breath. And ever since he got back into the game, he hasn't felt the same. So he was forced to make a lifestyle change.
Like I take an inhaler before the game. Since I tested positive, I never took an inhaler before, but I for sure feel better now than I did a month ago.
You gotta feel for Tatum, man. Going through something like that would be tough on anybody. Maybe that's why he's been going so hard recently. Or maybe it came from the most iconic story of his life. When Tatum was a kid, there was one person who inspired him more than anybody.
When I was like 4 and 5, my mom always asked me what I wanted to be when I got older. I was just like, I want to be Kobe.
Yeah.
She's like, you want to be in the NBA? It's like, no, like I want to be Kobe.
And when Tatum finally got to meet his idol, Kobe shared some words of wisdom that stuck with Tatum his entire life. How much does being great, being a champion mean to you? What are you willing to sacrifice? And ever since that day, Tatum became obsessed. Once Tatum made his way into the NBA, you could tell he'd been studying Kobe for decades. The man literally shows up to games wearing Kobe shirts. During games, Tatum's seen making the same moves as Kobe and taking the same shots. Hell, Tatum even started wearing an armband because of Kobe. And as Tatum became a superstar, he gained attention from the legend himself. Not only did Kobe break down Tatum's game on live TV,
if I'm Jayson Tatum, I'm really good at posting up. I'm really good in isolation. I'm really good at creating opportunities.
Kobe saw how effortless basketball came to him and had to invite our boy to a workout. The two planned to meet the next time Tatum was in LA, and right when the plane landed, Kobe gave Tatum some secret advice. Shoot every time. Pass if you have to, but if not, shoot it. Only Kobe, man. But the craziest part was, Tatum went so hard during the workout that he left Kobe wondering why the Lakers chose Lonzo Ball over him. Regardless, that day earned a special place in Tatum's heart.
Getting to meet Kobe and work out with him on a really personal level, it was like a dream come true. It meant everything to me.
Now at this point, Kobe wasn't just Tatum's idol, he became his friend. And I'm sure Tatum was fantasizing about teaming up one day, until...
The LA Times is reporting that retired Los Angeles Lakers basketball star Kobe Bryant has been killed in a helicopter crash.
Kobe's tragedy broke Tatum, and right after, Tatum let the world know that he was devastated. A few days later, Tatum's pain was showing during interviews.
He was the reason that I started playing basketball, and it's been a tough couple of days.
But Tatum knew Kobe wouldn't want him to stay down. So eventually, Tatum decided to commemorate Kobe, reminding everyone of his greatness. The next time the Celtics pulled up to Staples Center, the entire team came out rocking purple armbands for Kobe, and it was all thanks to Tatum. Not long after, Tatum also got inked up for Kobe, combining his famous nickname, the Black Mamba, along with his jersey number. And last but not least, Tatum did one more thing to keep Kobe's memory alive. Tatum traveled to Kobe's birthplace of Philadelphia to adopt a new pet, and he decided on a blue fawn French dog, naming him Bean, Kobe's middle name. Kobe was Tatum's everything, and these gestures prove it. So if Kobe was still here, he'd be proud of not only the player, but the man Tatum's becoming.